See how I snuck that in there? Because you're veterans.
Yeah.
Wonderful little man.
I know.
Oh,
I like
man.
the astronaut. I like the astronaut walking.
And one of the things too, I wanted to, well, when we get to the list, hopefully, maybe I remember, maybe I won't. Who knows? It's something I do want. I've got a small concern when it comes to the Green Bay Packers and Jordan Love's contract, Patrick.
Oh yeah.
Reports are coming out that if there is one signed, I think it's going to be around $280 million, and I'm not going to be upset with that.
How many years?
I don't know.
5?
I believe it's 5,
Yeah,
but
probably 5.
it's an extension more than it is like a contract because it's added on to what he's already owed. But yeah.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that, 100%. I would be, even if I wasn't okay. Who cares? But regardless, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Now, here's my kicker, though. This is what I'm more okay with if I'm in the front office with the Green Bay Packers. Because of the way teams are, Jordan Love loves, and because of who Jordan Love is, he loves the Wisconsin area. We're only going to lose him if we lowball him contractually.
Right. Yeah.
And that's not going to happen. No matter what happens, he's not going to be lowballed. Whatever number, let's say he tests the market. This isn't a Saquon situation, right? Whatever market's there, he's going to, right? But let's say this team says, oh, $295 million. All right, we're going to give you 3. And that's just what it is. Because if other teams, if he played, my point is because Trevor Lawrence took so much money and you're basically looking at somebody no better than Daniel Jones, he is causing a ripple in this tide effect. Dak Prescott isn't signing a contract, so that doesn't help us at all. Tua isn't signing a contract anytime soon. That doesn't help us at all either. So right now, I'm not okay with it, but I understand the situation where we look at Jordan and go, okay, listen, we're not on the same page yet. You've given us one great season, and we expect you to do the same thing. So let's go out there. I'm assuming this will have to come with some incentives, but beyond the detailed talk, go out there and earn what we can give you. Earn what we can give you next year, because we can give you more next year, right? But we can't give you what you're asking for now because arguably you could be overpaying. Let's be honest. Yeah. It was a great season, but it was one. And the same thing I say about C.J. Stroud and many others, and what many other respected analysts have said moving forward or moving backwards, you can't, everybody has one magical season. Hell, who's that guy that made it to the Super Bowl that everybody makes fun of? Rex Grossman?
Yeah.
Even fucking, but I'm just saying, even Rex Grossman makes.
Rexy. Like, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Are you going to pay Rex Grossman $280 million?
No.
I wouldn't.
Okay.
With old candy bars at this point.
I mean, and if we're being honest contractually, while we don't say out loud that, what we say out loud is that, oh, our kicker fucked us and our defense fucked us. But let's be honest, there was a lot of time left on the clock for that stupid ass throw.
Yeah.
So are you going to give $280 million to a mind that still thinks that's a good idea?
So I got a question, Charles. Yeah. I got a question.
Yes,
so
of course.
Are you treating this situation with Jordan Love right now, with this whole contract situation?
Yes, sir.
This is a very big situation for y'all.
Yes.
Because again, y'all have history. Y'all draft quarterbacks, and y'all find a way to make them great. However, now are y'all in a situation? I'm not comparing the two. I just want to put that out there. Daniel Jones type situation. Do it again, and then I'll pay you.
And I think so I agree with you. And the words I would like to use for that would be more, I think there are more Daniel Jones examples than there are Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre.
This is a very true statement.
As much as I love Jordan Love, minus the cheese curds and pineapple, but I think I can get over that.
It's not do or die.
But it's definitely not do or die. But at the same time, we have to think about the team. We have to think about the future.
Right.
And while I do see our future with Jordan Love, and everything about it says yes, I think that this is the Trevor Lawrence effect. You basically got the twin brother of Daniel Jones, who just got paid way too much money. We're not in Jacksonville's division. That's the thing. You can pay Trevor Lawrence for mediocrity.
And it
But
works out just fine.
But can you replicate greatness? And you need continued greatness to be amazing in the NFC North. Let's be real.
And not just that, just in the Green Bay Packer organization, period. You just can't be a mediocre quarterback and get paid $56 million a year and think it's
I told you guys this. The fucking NFL is Target. NFL is, you want to compare a store? Target is the most overpriced fucking store on the planet. Like you can buy this same shit anywhere else probably for half the price or 2/3 of the price. And that's what the NFL does. It's a show me league. It's a, hey, guess what? I did this. Pay me now.
Right.
And you only do it for 1 year,
that too.
That's annoying.
Now, again, I was just playing devil's advocate there, and not necessarily even devil's advocate. I was just thinking on the other side. I do believe Jordan Love is our next quarterback. I think he's a generational quarterback. I think he's only going to get better with time. We haven't seen his peak. We've seen the climb to the peak. Okay, and that's the question, because now it's cloudy. Where's the peak? Is it another 100 meters up, or is it another year up, or is it another 15 years up? I think it's another 15 years up, and everything arguably is pointed to, yes, that's where it's going. But this is the NFL, and if you put your thinking cap on, your thinking cap always tells you to wait until Thanksgiving of that year.
The average age of an NFL quarterback when they hit their peak is 28 years old. From what I looked into, what I read is 28 years old. How far is Jordan Love from 28? Is he 25 or 26?
Let's just even say he's 26.
I'm assuming he's 25 or probably 25 or 26. So he could, like you said, he could be that year away, or he could be 2 years away. But the problem is,
25.
Okay, he's 25. So he possibly could have 2-3 years where he just progressively gets better until he gets to his peak.
Oh my God. November 2nd, 1998. That's crazy.
It makes you feel old, yeah. Yeah.
10 years after I was born.
God damn it.
Good for him. Yeah, but here, I'm willing to put a majority, if not all, of my analytical credit on the fact that Jordan Love is that guy. He's not a guy.
The Packers put all their faith in him when they let Aaron Rodgers just fucking walk. Told you everything you needed to know right there.
But
Mike and I were talking about that earlier. And what we were saying is that I think Aaron Rodgers should have retired after his MVP, after his final MVP. But I'm glad he didn't, because I don't think Jordan Love would be who he is today if the scenario was flipped and the season after his MVP, Aaron Rodgers retired, which he definitely should have. And then everything fell apart, and then now he's this 200-yard guy a game. Go ahead, Mike.
No, I was just going to say the big difference in a quarterback like Jordan Love versus a guy who has to come out and start like a Bryce Young or a CJ Stroud is his body's not going to be nearly as beat up. He didn't have to take the punishment that those guys have to take. So CJ
was already hurt this last season. I mean, and
he's already going to be fresher than most of his competition. Now he's going against a couple of rookies in the division, but he's fresher than most quarterbacks his age. So I think with him, he gets a little bit. I would say most quarterbacks probably flame out really about, we'll call it mid-30s to be generous, right?
Yeah.
I think you give a guy, same reason with Aaron Rodgers, you give him another 3 or 4 years because he's so much fresher. He doesn't have the ass whooping that the quarterback before him took or rookies took, and he also had the benefit of learning behind Rodgers. Now I don't know what kind of mentor Aaron Rodgers was to him. That's never been said.
Better than Brett Favre was to Aaron. You know what I'm saying? It's. To my understanding, Aaron and Jordan are pretty good friends. They still talk on they talk on the norm. Yeah. I have more questions with CJ Stroud than I do Jordan Love. And that's not, and I have, yes, absolutely. Because what CJ Stroud did is an anomaly.
Can he maintain that?
CJ Stroud still has his college career stuck in his fucking head that he couldn't win a natty. Did you see him on the podcast? He freaking was like losing his shit.
Well, arguably every big game of CJ Stroud's career he failed at.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not many he accomplished when it mattered.
When it mattered.
And again, what he did, here's the crazy thing, right? And I call it the Kyler Murray effect, but it took a hell of a long time for somebody after Kyler in the NFL and for it to happen again. But I think that CJ will have a game plan against him this year, right? And that's the thing that you have to learn through the NFL. And I'm not so worried about it with Jordan Love because every game there's a new game plan for Aaron Rodgers.
They have a new running game too, so their whole offense is going to change too.
And my reasoning behind this, and you're absolutely right, Patrick, but for most quarterbacks, if you're not Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson or shit like that, like you have a game plan, and that game plan contains the quarterback for the most part. You don't have to do a whole lot of changes to that game plan. But when you get to a Lamar Jackson or an Aaron Rodgers or a Patrick Mahomes, you create a game plan every Tuesday for that individual. There isn't the game plan for that character, right, that everybody uses. And there's variations to the game plan unless you get to these special quarterbacks. And you have to create a defense that was different the last time you fucking played this guy because he's going to tear you alive 5 seconds into the game because he's, holy shit, you're doing the same thing you did last time. Jordan Love got to learn that on a week-by-week basis. So I'm not so concerned in that scenario. Now, CJ, with a rookie head coach last year, basically a great coaching staff, but let's be honest, it's a hyped coaching staff. They still have to prove their worth this year because other coaches now know how they approach the game. So I'm going to know how to defeat that. There's way more questions in my mind with Houston.
You got the Rookie of the Year chip on the shoulder, too. That doesn't help either.
Yes,
the arrogance, the confidence coming in. Yeah, he's got a lot of expectations to live up to.
And the other thing is it becomes not to an extreme degree, but it also almost becomes like an RG3 situation. First year in the league, RG3 was killing people, making people look fool. Next year, they had a year's worth of tape on him, and it wasn't so foolish. Yeah. I think CJ Stroud is a better athlete. I think CJ is a better athlete and maybe a little bit of a smarter quarterback than RG3. But that year, it happened to Hurts last year. 22 was the first season you had a full season worth of tape on Hurts. 23 came back, and people knew where his weaknesses are. You have to see if you can adjust after that second year when people have figured out, okay, Stroud has a tendency to roll right and throw across his body, so that's where I'm going to watch the route. And that's just an example. But whatever his weaknesses are, these defensive coordinators are literal geniuses at coming up and reading your body, reading the way your eyes look, showing which receiver you indicate towards more. Do you favor your running back on the left or like all of this stuff? It's your job now as an offensive coordinator and a quarterback to say, all right, how do I counteract them having a full year of my tendencies? Can I change tendencies enough to where I don't become predictable? Can we update the offense to where it doesn't become predictable? So with Jordan Love, I think Pat said adding a new running back, adding Josh Jacobs, and, the upgrades you guys have made is going to make it so, okay, we know what Jordan Love is going to do, but we've never seen him interact with Josh Jacobs. We don't know how Josh is going to catch out of the backfield. Is he going to be a good blocker? We know what he did in Oakland, but that doesn't solidify his relationship with Jordan Love. So let's see how much that changes. CJ and D'Amico was the other one you have to worry about. D'Amico Ryans did a fantastic job last year. Right. But people now know how you coach. So let's see, can you respond?
Your schedule got a lot tougher too.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. And the argument with CJ Stroud and Jordan Love is a brick wall argument, I like to call it. Because anything you say against Jordan can be said against CJ in the very same paragraph with the nouns changed. Nothing else has to be changed. Just change the nouns and you have the same argument for and you have the same argument against. Now, where that differs is the experience. and and experience on both sides. For one, you have a head coach in Matt LaFleur, who, I mean, is on a John Madden pace. And whether you want to say that's because of Aaron Rodgers or not, let's be honest, Aaron Rodgers is a 217 yards a game quarterback after his MVP season. So now it'll be very interesting. It's why I'm super curious. It's why I'm so intrigued about the Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams. No.
You don't believe he's going to be. I don't believe he's going to be much. He might be a little bit better because he has something to prove, but he's not going to. I'll give him 240, but I'm not. He's not going to be a 250, 280 quarterback.
Yeah, I love that. I think 240 is generous. I do. I can see 225.
Maybe they have to. Yeah, maybe it's more the balls in his hands more. I don't know.
Yeah, 220. I don't think he gets to throw it that much.
That's what you play from behind. Maybe I don't know.
Well, he wouldn't be. Yeah, no, because of the offensive line. The wide receivers will be open. Yeah, absolutely. I know 225, 2 touchdowns, and you have a great year with Aaron Rodgers.
There's a funny stat that I'll say. He had the least amount of time to throw last year.
Yeah, I know. Absolutely. But
1.8 seconds.
It's why the question, who's going to have a better season, Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels, is so intriguing to me. And the details are the most intriguing thing. Because I want to know what you mean by a good season. Are we talking a CJ Stroud anomaly season, or like PR and like PR says over and over, a more realistic, learned season? I would be ecstatic with 8 wins. I'd be fucking ecstatic.
I have more faith in the Bears.
This is my thing.
Me too.
Do I think they have the capability of winning more than 8 games? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
On paper, realistically, with the weapons they have and the defense that they built up over the last couple of years, yes, ideally they can win 10, 12 games. In theory, in a fucking La La Land world.
Right.
Let's take the hot air off the balloon and let's just sit here and think for a second. Yes, CJ Stroud had, like you said, an anomaly year last year. And it's not knocking him as a player because, again, you did what you had to do as a quarterback, and you won the division against all odds because nobody expected them to even, be a playoff team, let alone a division-winning team. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not about to sit here and say that the Bears are going to win the NFC North because that's just – I'm not there yet. My head's not that big yet. You know what I'm saying? To feel like that's a capability.
It's going to be one hell of a conversation next year, though. I promise that.
But it's like right now, again, we haven't done anything to say that we are that team yet. So for people to say that Caleb Williams is going to have this Super Bowl type season, it's what are you watching that I'm missing? What are you seeing that I'm missing? And again, it's not taken away from Caleb Williams of what he could possibly do. Because clearly to get drafted number 1 overall, you have to have something that people see on a night in and night out basis. Regardless, top 5 pick, period. If you're in the top 5 pick, somebody saw something that they're like, oh shit, he's got something.
Yeah. The Texans are in a division that has the Jaguars, the Colts, and the Titans.
And listen, it was the same scenario with Peyton Manning back in the day. Again.
Yeah.
And even with Tom Brady in New England.
You're in New England.
You're in a division that 90% of the time of your career.
Patrick Mahomes with Kansas City.
And again, it's not taking away from them as a player, but let's just dial it in and look at this realistically. Peyton Manning, again, you're playing against the Colts. You're the Colts playing against the Jaguars, the Texans, and the Titans 6 times a year. So you already 9 times out of 10 have 6 wins.
Yeah.
All you got to do is win 2 to 4 more, and you're in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, you beat your division. You go 5-1 in your division.
You're already winning the division title, so
you're in the playoffs. Yeah, you're in the playoffs.
You're in the playoffs, and you got at least one game you're playing at home.
Yeah, you have a home. I understand why Kirk Cousins, under many reasons, other than his wife told him to, went to Atlanta.
Again, you're going to the NFC South division with the Panthers, the Saints, and it's not a lot of competition.
And then you have divisions like the AFC East and North. The East with Bills, Dolphins, Jets, Patriots. We have questions about Aaron Rodgers. You never hear us talk about that defense with the New York Jets. That defense.
When you think of the New York Jets, the only thing you're talking about is Aaron Rodgers. Which one are you going to get?
The crazy thing is, the Jets are a playoff team with Aaron Rodgers throwing no interceptions and 175 yards and a touchdown. And the Jets are a fucking playoff team.
Oh, well, right, because they're probably going to kick 6 field goals because all he's got to do is move the chains.
All he's got to do is move the chains, and it's a bend. It's a bend, don't break, and their defense is fucking shut down. So you get into that third quarter, and you've got a 3 field goal lead. That's 9 fucking points. So regardless of any scenario, you need a touchdown and a fucking field goal.
The thing. That's not taken away from whatever points that the defense can take from pick six.
Absolutely. So that defense is going to eat. That defense is going to eat. We don't. So you've got a division like that. That's terrifying. The winner of that division.
You're not scared of the NFC South, the AFC South. You're not scared of that.
No. The divisions like that, the NFC North, the AFC East, the AFC North, the NFC. What is it? The East.
Yeah.
Yeah. The NFC East. You destroy each other so much throughout the season that when you get to the playoffs without a break, you're basically running on adrenaline and fumes. And it takes those special moments and a mistake on the other team to carry forward. It's so difficult coming out of those scenarios. But again, you take that and then you look at what happened to the Texans, bro, and they got smacked by Baltimore, and everyone was just like, oh, he's not ready. It's, wait a minute, dude.
You realize what he had to do to get to this point? Patrick Mahomes had to beat the Ravens. So he's not ready yet. You're saying he's not Patrick Mahomes, so he's not going to beat... After 1 year?
Like, cheese and rice. But yet then Jordan Love goes and destroys the Cowboys and gets 11th, while C.J. Stroud gets 10th on this list. It makes...
He got 7th, I think.
That's the ESPN list. I'm sorry. I was looking at a Fox Sports list. C.J. Stroud gets 7th. How does this... Where does this come?
I think the reason why C.J. Stroud got put higher, and this is the only thing that I can think of.
He came from Ohio State.
No.
I fucking knew it.
No, I feel like the Cinderella story is greater because of what Houston was the year before versus now. Jordan Love came into a team that was already a playoff team versus Houston was.
But you're replacing.
I'm not saying that I would have.
Depending on where you are, the greatest quarterback of all time.
Me personally, I wouldn't have put Matthew Stafford shouldn't have been on that list, number 1.
Yeah.
And then Justin Herbert was too high. And Aaron Rodgers, I wouldn't have put Aaron Rodgers on that list because of one. If you're basing it off of just the year before, why is you're putting him on the list because of projection of what he
even Aaron Rodgers wasn't a top 10 quarterback the year before he got hurt.
He was MVP since 2018. There's been 3 quarterbacks to win the MVP.
Those are my 3 biggest issues. 1, Stafford was too high. Justin Herbert
didn't belong on there.
And then Aaron Rodgers shouldn't have been on the list. Those were my issues.
See, now look at
and then you don't have Jalen Hurts on the list. I don't understand that. Dak Prescott, I think, was a little too low. I know people say about him on the postseason, but if we're just ranking regular season quarterbacks, Dak Prescott's numbers should have put him at least close to the middle, somewhere in that.
And here's a perfect argument, right? Justin Jefferson or CeeDee Lamb, who's better?
I'm picking JJ.
Okay. Yeah. If you say that these quarterbacks only are where they are because of wide receivers, then why isn't Kirk Cousins anywhere on any of these lists ever? He arguably played with the best wide receiver for 4 years and never made a top 13 list, from my understanding.
He is a top 10 quarterback. Let's be honest. He's a top 10 quarterback.
He definitely plays like it.
He puts up numbers.
I'm like, the numbers are there. I'm like,
he's been on shitty teams. Other than throwing to the other team's receiver or defense.
Well, another argument for Kirk Cousins, look at what Washington hasn't accomplished since he's left.
We're about to see what Minnesota can do without him, too.
We made fun of Kirk as a garbage time quarterback receiving garbage time stats, but at the bottom line of that story, he got those same stats in Minnesota.
Name a receiver he had when he was at Washington. When he was there.
Oh, man. There? I was going to say McLaren or McLaurin.
Terry.
Yeah.
McLaurin wasn't there when he was there.
Nope.
Terry
McLaurin's only been there for 3 years.
3 years, yeah.
Oh, shit.
He was in Minnesota for 5 seasons.
I can't tell you that.
Honestly, the only thing I remember, you like that?
That's it.
You like that?
Is the only memorable moment.
The only thing I remember.
Him getting tagged like 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm like,
it was tag after tag, and then Minnesota came in, and I just laughed.
We'll give you a fully guaranteed contract.
But he had a decent career in Minnesota. He took him to the playoffs a bunch of times. And he played basically around the middle of Aaron Rodgers' prime, towards the end of Aaron Rodgers.
He had decent receivers. He had Deshaun Jackson, Pierre Garçon, Jamison Crowder, Vernon Davis, and Santana Moss. So yeah, he didn't have terrible
people
receivers.
to throw to.
He had weapons.
So if Kirk Cousins has people that's a hard thing to do in the NFL, apparently. Yeah. Because
God, those are some good receivers. That Vernon Davis, but that was the end of his career.
Right here.
Yes.
Does Kirk Cousins belong in the Hall of Fame once he retires?
No.
Not unless he makes it to a Super Bowl or wins a Super Bowl.
Do I think Kirk Cousins will be in the Hall of Fame?
No. Do you put him in the Hall of Fame?
No, I don't put him in the Hall of Fame, but I believe
I'm pretty sure he's gonna make it.
How many years do you get on the ballot?
I don't know, to be honest.
7?
No, it's more than
that. I think it's like 4 or 5, isn't it? You only get 5 years on the ballot, and then
you got to get like a committee has to put you in at some point.
Yeah. I don't think Kirk Cousins makes the Hall of Fame.
I'm looking up the answer right now because it's very important. Because if you have 15 years, then yes, I think so. I think that typically between 80% approval. I don't know. That's hard. I guess we're going to have to look that up here later on.
Unfortunately, the class that he's going to be going into probably favors him being able to get in.
Depends when he's retiring, though. But
when he retires.
That's what I mean. Like, when you go back, for one, when you look at a handful of quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame, there's no way you can keep Kirk Cousins out of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, there's some pretty bad ones.
There are some really just wild, questioning fucking people in there. So when you look at that scenario also, even in a 7-year stretch, in that 7-year stretch, at least 11, we'll say in the first 4 of those 7 years, 11 of the 32 starting quarterbacks that he'll be competing against will have already been in, most of them first ballot to second, maybe third at the latest. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So when you extend it out, and we're just keeping the same 7-year parameter, but listen, there's people going into the Hall of Fame at 90 years old, so I know it's way longer than 7 years.
Yeah.
So when you throw that scenario in there, yeah, Kirk Cousins is going to be in the NFL Hall of Fame. He's going to end up in a class where he's going to receive more votes because his stats are going to put him in that. When you're talking 15 years after he retires, people aren't going to remember how he got the stats as much as it is going to be people like you and I going to the internet or whatever fucking information base we have at that time and pulling up Kirk Cousins and seeing if his stats make him worthy of the conversation. Okay, so now I'm going to pull up video clips of Kirk Cousins. Now you've got clips of him chucking the ball to T.J. Hawkinson, Justin Jefferson.
There is no limit.
Deshaun Jackson. So there is no limit. Yes, absolutely. Kirk Cousins.
You have to play 5 seasons. That's the only.
Okay, so to me, yes, Kirk Cousins does deserve to be in the NFL Hall of Fame. He pretty much checks all of the boxes. Does he deserve to be in the Hall of Fame in the first 10 years? Probably not. No. But that would be dependent on how he ends his career.
Eventually, there's going to be a group of stinkers where he's going to fall into, where he's going to be the best of the stinky players, and then he's going to make it.
Let's say he makes it to the Super Bowl with Atlanta.
That's kind of how I feel he's going to get in there. But What if he brings Atlanta to the Super Bowl?
Win or lose, just making it to the Super Bowl solidifies it. This solidifies the conversation inside 10 years, in my opinion, because just in that thought process, 15 years after he retires, you look up stats and then you look up video clips of Kirk Cousins. You're going to be impressed.
Yeah,
unless you lived it.
Because you won't have the same context 15 years from his retirement that we have now. Because we've seen Kirk Cousins play in NFC championship games. Or not NFC championship games, but we've seen him play in
playoff
games, big spotlight games.
Big moment.
He did play in an NFC championship game. He lost. I mean, I'm pretty sure he lost. Or no, he lost.
He lost in the NFC
divisional round to the Saints.
Yeah. So we've seen him in these bigger than normal moments, and even look at prime time.
Yeah, arguably he was good. The defense let him down in that game.
Yeah.
So even if you go back and watch that game on tape, that's not Kirk's fault.
It's because you're, like you said, 15 years from now, you're missing context, so you don't have the same analytical ability. I can't go back and watch Chuck Bednarik film and be like, oh, this guy was this, that, and the third. I have no context. I didn't watch any of those fucking games in the 1960s, right? It doesn't matter to me. But if you talk to me about a Deion Sanders or a Michael Irvin or a Randall Cunningham or a Donovan McNabb, that's my era of football. So I have that context to say, oh, no, you should have seen when Randall Cunningham evaded 3 sacks in the end zone and threw for a 98-yard touchdown to Harold Carmichael.
Who would you rather have voting? Would you rather have the context? Because context can be argued as a personal feeling / opinion.
This screams the Wilt 100-point game theory, where you go back in history, a lot of these guys that are in the Hall of Fame, only people that saw them play were like 1,000 people in the stands.
The talent today. Yeah.
Who knows if they were freaking throwing like a Nerf ball out there, like barely throwing the thing like 5 yards, and dudes were never even covered or never even touched, just running on the sidelines. Who knows if a lot of these stats are just completely embellished? I don't want to think that, but part of me thinks that.
I don't think
because of the Wilt Chamberlain theory.
I don't think we'll have that question moving forward. I think we'll always have that question about the past.
Yeah.
But I think our past, along with the future's past.
Right, but moving forward, like you said, you're going to have highlights.
Everything's so recorded and documented nowadays that you can... even today we can go back and watch remastered...
From the 60s.
50s, 60s.
We watched the Ice Bowl, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be tough. It's going to be really tough. So that was a crazy quarterback conversation. Which will lead us here soon into a collective top 10 quarterback 2024. But I do want to go around the table, as we had mentioned, and any major sports topic that's on the mind, I'll go ahead and bring that up.
Go first.
And we'll discuss. PR, please start us off.
I think my biggest issue when it comes to sports that's going on right now is the men's USA team is not a scary team right now.
Yeah.
I might get heat. I'm not going against Team USA for whoever's listening to this. But let's just think realistic. Yes, we have some of the most talented players playing in Team USA. But we literally just beat South Sudan by 1 freaking point.
Somebody who's 19 for 104 in his career made the shot too, so I'm glad he came through on that one.
Again, I'm still voting for Team USA to win team gold.
It's a real stat too. You look that up.
But y'all can't play like this and expect people to invoke fear in people's mind. Y'all not playing like y'all the dogs. Y'all playing like Wallace sometimes.
It reminds me of the 2004 NBA men's basketball team.
We played in Athens.
Yes, they got one. And then you needed a Kobe to come back in 2008 with the Redeem team and run through fucking Pau Gasol's chest.
Yeah, I can't wait for Usain Bolt to be 90 years old so I can challenge him and claim the fastest man in the world title. No, hell no. Hell no, 90 years old. I'm going to beat that ass. I'm going to beat it. Yeah.
Isn't he the same age as
dust your ass.
No way, man. No way, man.
Bolt? I thought Usain Bolt wasn't that old. I thought he was like 30. I'm
just saying. I'm just saying. This is what it's coming down to, right? It would be a young man versus a 90-year-old man. Obviously, I am. Okay, so what happens is in 10 years we get. He's 37. He's 1 year older than me. Well, listen. In 10 years, we're going to get an anti-aging pill. But what it does, is it stops your reproductive organs. And he's I don't want that. And I'm like, yo, the war already took that. Give me the pill. Oh, that's the scenario. And
I'm gonna freaking pop them pills.
No, that is exactly how that works in this scenario. Okay, so now he's 90. I'm a young, vibrant age of 34. 46, because 10 years from now, that's when the pill's created. So 46.
We're going to see Charles qualify for the 2056 Olympics.
You know what, hey, Patrick, you know what this is going to be? That pill, not only is he going to feel like he could beat Usain Bolt,
he's going to have them shorts
wearing shorts back
He's going to go back to wearing them shorts.
I'll put my basketball shorts back on. Yeah. This is the third greatest thing of my life.
Oh, shit.
You know? Absolutely.
I digress.
But to your point, Pierre, it's the same reason why the women's USA basketball team just got their ass kicked by the WNBA, because they thought age didn't matter. They thought when the talent is comparable or better, age always matters.
Here's the problem: the talent shouldn't even be close, because they said they picked the best. The best.
If Anthony Edwards isn't the number one option, then they didn't pick the best, in my opinion.
No, they did terrible. They had terrible choices. I'm sorry, LeBron James. Come on.
Oh, he's earned the right to be there. You know who else said that? Tiger Woods. And I think he shot 57 over on the first day.
That is mine. That is mine.
Okay, I'm sorry. All right, we won't get away from that. We won't get away. I'm sorry, Patrick. I'm sorry.
So to end with my topic.
Yes.
To say that I am not a little concerned going into the Olympics with Team USA would be an understatement.
Yeah.
Because, again, these are just exhibition games for fun.
Didn't even
just
matter.
get a little stretch out. Doesn't matter. But the fact, listen, y'all can say, anybody else can say whatever they want. Exhibition or not, if I'm Team USA, preseason, doesn't matter. I'm stomping a mud hole.
It needs to matter.
They should play defense. Let's be honest.
They
should play defense.
You won by one point.
It was like watching an NBA All-Star game out there. They were just
terrible.
letting dudes shoot from like 15
Royal
feet
Ivy
away.
said this country's only been an independent country for 13 years, and you let
Hey,
these boys
dude,
score 100
but
points.
let's not take anything away from that country.
No,
They deserved to win that game, and they got screwed.
Yeah, I don't.
You're saying you're supposed to be the most dominant team in the country as a FIBA ranking. You're the number one team in the world right now. And apparently, you barely can walk away from South.
Did you see the scrutiny? There was
with multiple choice. Yeah. With multiple choice, they're the number one team in the world. Yeah. Without multiple choice, the Boston Celtics don't win a national championship. We're just throwing that out there. And in FIBA, you don't get multiple choice. You need to know the answer. And that's the thing. I'm not afraid for USA basketball. I'm comfortable knowing we suck. Yeah. Not talent-wise. We suck without multiple choice. For one, look at our standardized test system, but that's a conversation for another day in a different podcast. But without multiple choice, we're going to end up playing for the bronze or for the bronze. It's France, a better chance.
Going to take them out.
So how do you feel about France now?
I don't talk to me.
Canada's number 2. Paul.
Canada can definitely.
Listen, Canada is one.
Listen, they're French. What more do I need to say?
Wemby.
What more do I need to say about this? I'm not worried about a dude who can only play 28 minutes.
Oh, snap.
I'm not worried about a dude who can only play 28 minutes.
They're not worried about Team USA either.
And I'm not worried about a guy who can't be in the game in the last 4 minutes because he's a liability.
But he can stay in the paint now, though, so he doesn't have to move.
Yeah, they don't have to move anymore.
And that bodes well for Team USA because they still have shooters.
Is Wemby playing for France?
Yes.
We're not talking about can USA score, right? They can obviously score. They'll put up 100 or more every night. Yeah. Right, it's the defense. But they can't play defense because they're old and tired. And you can't have the young legs out there because the old minds are filled with absolute ridiculousness. They feel like they've earned the right to be there. And that's crazy to me. Patrick.
That's my topic.
We got to bring up the British Open. Tiger Woods, an abysmal performance. And then we had the craziest thing that's ever happened at a championship. Royal Troon, the shortest par 3, 7:33 a.m. Guy quits mid-hole because he's having a terrible fucking round.
Guess what nationality he is? Guess what nationality is?
German.
French.
Was he French?
Yep.
And we are talking. Don't let me butcher this poor guy's name. Romain Langasque. He's French. Whatever.
What more do you need to say? All they do is give up. That's literally their life.
He was four over through the first 7 holes, hit a tee shot on the par 3. It was a short par 3. He shanked the damn thing. He just said F it and walked off the course.
Yeah, he's French. What more do you need to say?
Fuck it. I'm out.
Yeah, no, I love this. I love that you brought it up because, again, this falls directly in line with USA basketball and USA women's basketball. The entitlement is ridiculous.
What is wrong with sports?
Tiger needs to just let it go.
Tiger needs to go to that.
Go to the Champions Tour. Jesus
Christ. The golf cart and shit.
Isn't it like a senior PGA?
No, the Champions Tour. He gets to drive a golf cart and shit.
Dominate that league over there.
Go break Bernard Langer's records that he's setting right now.
With the old fucks. It's fine.
Right. The fact that he can hang with these young, talented golfers at this point in his career. Bro,
he almost died in a car accident. His life was like
he's got more titanium than bone in his left leg.
Yes, what is it? More titanium in his fucking bones than a Tesla's got in the front end or something like that. That was the joke.
It's not that Tiger Woods doesn't have the talent.
No.
It's that Tiger Woods doesn't have the fucking body anymore.
No.
And if the PGA wants to pay him $25 million over 7 years, or I'm sorry, $100 million over 7 years for him just to show up at majors, they better give the motherfucker a golf cart.
I'm tired of it. I'm not.
You could give him $100 million, give him a golf cart. He's not going to retire.
He's giving him a golf cart. I don't care if he's driving a Segway down the golf course. Who gives a shit? Just give him something.
He can't.
He can't.
He's not old enough.
No, he is.
He is obligated with the PGA. He signed a contract.
$100 million over 7 years.
They're basically for appearance.
At the beginning of the year. Yeah, because they need to compete with Live Golf, because otherwise Live Golf is just going to come in with checks, and anybody who's winning on the PGA is going to start.
He gets eyeballs on the TV watching the golf.
I don't watch golf for Tiger.
Yeah. Tiger Woods.
There's millions of fans. Like he's a shit ton of people.
Tiger Woods got paid. Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas, Rory McIlroy. A handful of people got paid. They all didn't get $100 million. Tiger Woods got $100 million. Everyone else got
How do you pay somebody that
40.
hasn't won anything in how many years?
Wait a minute.
Paul, like Patrick said, it's about the eyeballs. He does bring a lot to the sport.
Apparently, Paul doesn't realize what Live Golf was ready to offer him. Apparently, supposedly, Live Golf almost offered him $1 billion.
Yeah,
it was
easily.
like $700 and some million they offered him.
Yeah,
he said no because he didn't want to. He basically didn't want to live over there. That was the issue.
Right, and so they had to compete. But that's the thing. You're in this willy-nilly scenario. Like, why the hell don't you give the guy a golf cart? You let John Daly cruise around on a golf cart when he shows up to the matches. And he's exempt to play up.
Clown 90%.
I love the fucking guy. Can't wait. I dress like him often on the golf course. I dress like me. Our personalities just happen to match quite a bit. But Tiger can't play because of the physical ability, not because he can't swing the club or he's just physically exhausted and drained. On the cuts he makes it, the days that like Saturday and Sunday when it progressively gets worse, and the commentators, bless their heart, every one of them, he'll get a par or a birdie somehow, and you'll hear him say every fucking time, "Oh, here comes the Tiger comeback." We've all seen many times. It's not happening unless you give the guy a golf cart or allow him to continue to make that money and send him to the Champions Tour. The thing is, if I was Live Golf, I'd start going after those Champion Tour players also. And I would start my own Champions Tour, because you ain't got eyeballs down there. Guess where the eyeballs will go? The eyeballs are going to follow Tiger regardless. And you're making money. Instead of losing money on the Champions Tour now, you could start making money on both of them, because the young guys in the PGA are good.
Here's the thing. The Tiger Woods is such a big name. He could literally have the worst round ever. There's people that are like, if he hits a ball in the woods or he hits a ball in the water, there's people out there taking photos, and they're going to go sneak onto that course, try to find that fucking golf ball, because Tiger marks his balls with his initials. Someone finds that golf ball, they'll go sell it on eBay for $25,000.
I see why he's still there too.
Yeah.
PR away from taking the overall.
It's insane.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The same reason people go watch Bronny James play basketball in summer league is the same reason.
Yep. Well,
Tiger Woods gets paid.
I believe. I hope I didn't just lose this thought. I did. That's too bad.
Well, while he's thinking of his thought, he won the Masters in 2019. Great.
Oh, that was so awesome.
Before that, he didn't win a major. The last major was the U.S. Open back in 2008.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the wife threw the golf club through his windshield, and then the drugs.
Yeah, he had a lot of stuff going on. He was having a lot of sex.
Here's how you made it, PR. Didn't you remember when Tiger Woods dropped his clothing line?
Yeah.
Didn't you look up like a hat or something? Weren't we interested in it?
Not me.
$79.99 for a hat.
You got me all stuff.
Okay, I'm just saying, when you can charge $79.99 for a hat, all of us might think that's fucking crazy. But there's $5,000 Italian leather shoes that sell out every year. Okay, we're just not the crowd. There's 20,000. Exactly. So we're just not the crowd that buys it. But there's $100,000 TVs.
Pair of shoes, I get upset.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, but when you can charge $79.99 for a hat,
I get it.
It's because you have. You're him. And Tiger Woods is him. When I call for his retirement, absolutely, and that's what I wanted to point out, that we're not calling for his retirement because he doesn't have the skill or the talent. We're just, bro, like, your body can't do it, and we're sick of hearing about you.
Now, I will
because
say this.
There's other people who deserve the spotlight.
I would be okay if they did something like this. I may be reaching at this point, but watching him and his son do pro-ams together
that'd be fun.
Fucking fantastic.
We'll see a lot more of them coming up soon.
I thought them two doing that, their dialogue when they're on the field and just hitting the ball, hitting the green, stuff like that. Watching those clips, him and go back and forth, seeing the similarities in swings and mannerisms. That stuff I like to see. But him still trying to be out here to compete and actually feel like he's going to win, I don't get that anymore. He's not the favorite to win. At this point, you're, like you guys said, you're paying this man to put eyes on the TV. That's cool, but as a human, for me, if I'm Tiger, that just got to suck.
Yeah, sure it does.
Here's my question that I want answered by the PGA. Then we'll get to Mike's point and we'll jump to this list. Why aren't you giving Tiger Woods a golf cart? If you give him a golf cart, he'll bring more eyeballs to more events, more money to those events.
Might last longer.
And you can pay him that money faster, pay others money that faster. You can pay things, you can do things better. Why not give him the golf cart? Because let's just say somebody, absolutely. But let's just say somebody complains. You can legitimately look at them and go, he's Tiger fucking Woods. You can't say that about many people. For one, like in basketball, you got these LeBron James. It's the Dingleberry's doing the Dingleberry thing, and everyone's mistletoe his nutsack. That's fine. So why doesn't Tiger Woods get that same fucking respect? Because Tiger Woods is a much better athlete in everything he's done.
As a champion, by far.
So why isn't Tiger Woods asserting the same level of nepotism? You're forcing him out there. And you're okay with five appearances in a calendar year when you can get 15 out of them if you just give him a fucking golf cart.
Because how old is Tiger? Isn't he like 40? Let's see.
He's got to be 42, 43. Maybe even older.
48 years old.
I was thinking 47,
He'll be 49
48.
in December.
Yeah, so maybe you got to be 50 and I can give you the golf cart. But if he retires, I don't think he can play in the Champions Tour.
2026 is when he gets the golf cart.
2026.
Golfmagic.com PGA Tour. May 8th, 2024. Six-time European Tour winner believes that Tiger Woods will take the PGA Tour Championships up on their offer to offer him a golf cart for the 2026 season. So apparently it must be an age thing.
Yeah, must be an age thing. Then at this point, we're going to see Tiger Woods 3 times a year until he gets the golf cart.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And that might be, hey, here's the thing.
That's what it is.
He needs to win one more, and golf is a beautiful sport.
And it doesn't even have to be a major. He just needs to win one more game, one more title.
Tiger is talented.
Which one it is.
Tiger is talented enough that once he gets a golf cart, so this retirement talk may have to be settled, actually. We'll see once he gets the golf cart, because
he gets the golf cart and he's just out there buzzing around, freaking shooting 25 under again. That arthritis in my ankle ain't shit no more.
That'll be awesome. A couple cortisone shots. Hey, we'll see. And then maybe all these Tiger wish he would's would shut their mouth, and we'll see what happens next.
Yeah.
Mr. Chaos, what's on your mind?
So we talked about in our group chat a little bit the worst NFL franchises.
Yes.
And I came up with my list, top 10 worst. And the criteria for the teams are different for each team on why I think they're the worst franchise. So I won't spend a whole lot of talking about that, but I might touch on a couple of them.
Okay.
Number one, the worst NFL franchise in NFL history for me is the Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
By far.
Yep.
Just because of everything about them screams failure, and when they have a little bit of success, they don't know ever how to handle it. They always turn into a garbage fire the next season. Two is the Lions, because up until recently, they've been utter garbage trash. Just bad ownership, bad coaching, bad leadership, players getting hurt too much, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
Chargers number 3. They're self-explanatory. Panthers number 4, again, same thing. They turn into crap once they have one good season, and they've never recovered from being crap. Number 5, I have the Tampa Bay Bucks, because without Tom Brady, we see what they are. 6 is the Tennessee Titans. Again, it's the same really poorly run franchise and not knowing how to. Who fires a general manager when you're the number 1 seed in your division and possibly the number 2 seed in your conference because he traded your star receiver away? That's a really poor run franchise for me. Number 7, and Paul, my bad, but it's the Bears. And it's because of how Chicago as a team has been okay with mediocrity for so long. Like now, recently, they're starting to invest with polls and different coaching. But the history of the Bears says mediocrity ever since 1985. The Jags, Sadiq Khan is a trash owner. He doesn't do anything to build his teams. He hasn't had a decent coach since Doug Peterson is a Super Bowl winning coach, so I'll give him that. But you brought in the human dumpster fire in Urban Meyer and let him run roughshod on the team. So you automatically qualify as a horrible team to me. Number 9 is the Cardinals, and number 10, this one's kind of the one that I had to justify a little bit more, is the St. Louis Rams. The LA Rams have been great, whether it was in the past with the LA Rams with Eric Dickerson and stuff like that, or Aaron Donald, Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, they've been good. But the St. Louis Rams were a fucking miserable trash of a franchise.
Nice. Give us a quick 1 through 10 again.
1 through 10, Browns, Lions, Chargers, Panthers, Buccaneers, Titans, Bears, Jags, Cardinals, and the St. Louis Rams.
Nice. The only trouble I would have scrolling through the video and listening to this list would be hearing former Super Bowl champions on there. And was the Jets on there?
No.
Okay, and not having the Jets on there.
Yeah, Jets are terrible.
The only Super Bowl win the Jets acquired, they paid for. And it's the only bought Super Bowl in the NFL history. There's way too much evidence of that.
I could see definitely taking the Rams off and putting the Jets on.
And their teams are hard too because they haven't really been around long enough.
The team that I personally, again, I love your list, but personally, the team, I would take the Super Bowl winning team out of there. I would take the Chicago Bears out of there and replace them with the Jets, because the Chicago Bears between the beginning and 1985 were honestly a really great organization, a formidable body in the NFL. A handful of terrible decisions have led them down a cursed path. Yes, I could. Again, I love your list. I probably would have them in the top 15.
Did you have the Arizona Cardinals in there?
I did put the Cardinals in there.
All right, I was.
Yeah, they're number 9.
Okay, all right.
I don't think there's a lot of conversation on 1 through 4, to be honest with you.
No, I agree with Charles. I would swap out one of those teams, the Jets. It really doesn't. Realistically, the one team probably would be the Browns.
Yeah.
remove them.
Yeah.
The Browns never won a Super Bowl, but they won 4 or 5 titles before the merger, I believe.
And
50, 54, 64, 60, something like that.
They're that weird team. Yeah.
Yeah, ketchup, please. On the bun. Sorry, wife made hamburgers and didn't even know.
Yeah. They're that weird team that their fans brought them back. The Browns have been terrible. They continue to be terrible. They got a chance now. Yeah.
They have a terrible fan base, but their fan base is just as dedicated as the Detroit Lions fan base.
Loyal ass fan base.
Yeah, Detroit. Yeah. They're just like Detroit doesn't want a damn thing either, and their fans still stick around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my grandfather was a hardcore Detroit Lions fan, and Barry Sanders, Charlie Batch, type era.
Many people I know are hardcore Lions fans.
Oh yeah, we live amongst them.
Here.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still here.
30 years.
You're a Cubs fan, so you know what being a miserable fan
All my
base
life.
feels like.
But hey, that misery is over. Okay, that misery happened and went.
Yeah. So, beautiful list. I enjoyed all of your topics. My topic is going to be short and sweet. Regards the ESPN Top 100 list, and I want to give ESPN credit. They did exactly what was needed in order to generate traffic in a direction they wanted.
Right.
Because in the end, we received more than 70,000 votes from ESPN contributors. So you had a bunch of bots voting in. And those bots voted exactly how you needed them to. Because any fucking list that has LeBron James above Tiger Woods and Usain Bolt in a world where you justified the greatness of Michael Phelps is
terrible.
Complete trash and doesn't deserve the attention it's getting. But because it's hot, wet garbage, it's getting a smell scent.
Why is Ledecky not in there?
Katie Ledecky? Yeah. So again,
arguably, is she not the greatest athlete that we've seen in the last 20 years?
She's literally the female Michael Phelps, right? Like,
she might even be better in her own right.
It's so LeBron James deserves to be on a top 100 athletes since 2000 list.
Oh, he deserves to be in the top 10 for sure. But
but in the worldwide list, I don't think he deserves to be in the top 10. Right? Because for one, you're playing in the multiple choice NBA. That's not the greatest fucking sport in the world. It's not. You only are on a list in the top 10 because of American money and your global reach created from superstars such as Yao Ming.
Sustained success, I think, is what it was based off of. I can see top 10 because he did go to 6 out of 8 finals. Regardless of what you want to think, he was still there. He deserves to be on the list, like you said. It's debatable where he belongs. It's definitely not top 5.
Here's the thing.
I'm with you, Charles. I'm like, Tiger Woods is a more decorated. Whether you want to say he has more tournaments throughout the year, be that as it may, right? Let's say Tiger Woods is at, let's just say, 20, 25 tournaments a year. Let's just say that's pretty much a little over half a year,
right?
And he wins 20 out of those. He's got 82 wins in the PGA Tour alone. This is not talking about the European Tour, any other tour that he's been in. This is just the PGA Tour, the creme de la creme. He's tied first all time. He has 15 major championships with player championships. And you're telling me he's not better accolade-wise. We're just talking about titles in general.
In the 57 years LeBron James has played in the NBA, how many of those years has he been the consensus number 1 player?
I think it was. I think he was like almost 10 years in a row.
I think so.
He was the number 1. Yeah,
for half
his career.
Tiger Woods spent 281 consecutive weeks as the number 1 golfer in the world.
Want to hear even a better stat? I'll give you something even crazier. Hold on, let me pull it back up for Tiger Woods. This is going to blow your fucking mind. So he went pro in 1996, right?
Yeah.
He went pro in 1996. In June 15.
He won 131 times around the world.
The very next year, a year after, he won Rookie of the Year. A year later, he was the number 1 ranked player in the whole world for 683 weeks straight. As a 20-year-old.
So it's more than 10 years then.
And this is absolutely nothing against Simone Biles. But in what world is Simone Biles a better athlete than Cristiano Ronaldo?
She's not.
And how is Cristiano Ronaldo 13th on this list when Messi is 4th?
Wasn't it?
Where's Michael
third?
Wasn't this a 20?
Phelps is 1.
But this was not a.
Serena is 2.
This wasn't an entire career thing. This was getting a 20 from 2000 until now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Ronaldo, I think he retire. Didn't Ronaldo retire?
Ronaldo's still playing.
Is he?
Yeah, dude. He just scored 39 goals in the Al Sahiri League, which is the most goals in one season anyone's ever done. And I joke around online calling it a baby league, but it's
fun right now.
Yeah, it is a tough league. It does. If you say the wrong thing, you get killed. So,
allegedly,
it's just you've got like Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic just above Cristiano Ronaldo. Kobe Bryant is 10th.
I guess I'm confused. I thought
Katie Ledecky is 15th.
I didn't know you were talking about Cristiano Ronaldo. I thought you were talking about Ronaldo from Brazil.
Oh, the dead guy.
Raldino?
Yeah, he was like 50. Yeah. That's why. Okay, yeah, you said Ronaldo, and I was like,
he passed. I think already.
I don't know. I remember him from the Olympics, Brazil. Yeah.
Yeah. The Pele kick.
And who do you think had a better career, Kevin Garnett or Floyd Mayweather Jr.?
As of right now, Mayweather probably dominated the sport way more.
Yeah, who do you think had a better career, Diana Taurasi or Floyd Mayweather?
Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, Floyd Mayweather's well below all of these other individuals.
We can play this back and forth game. I totally see what you're doing here.
That's what I'm saying.
You're picking a level, and you're like,
and then I go. See, but again, that's why I started this conversation, and then we'll move to the list. It's why I started it off with congratulations. It did exactly what you meant it to do. It's a trash ass list, except for 1 and 2, and you did right. I think Phelps and Serena Williams, there's absolutely no argument. The rest of it is all
most gold medals in Olympic history.
Oh my God, yeah, record 28-time Olympic medalist, 23-time Olympic gold medalist, most medals at a single Olympics.
He's a fish.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Smoked a little bit of pot and still nobody remembers it. Now he's a superstar. That's when you know you made it. But again, congratulations. It did exactly what you needed it to. You had a whole 70,000 votes by ESPN contributors. Eat dick. You called some smartphone bot factory in Malaysia and had a 48-hour click-it window, and boom, that's exactly what happened. You built the algorithm and everything.
They could have threw this up, and they literally said,
dick. Yeah, at the end of it says, let the argument begin.
This is how they did it. I promise you this is how they did it.
Yeah.
They went human-wise. Phelps, Serena Williams.
Then they just let Messi. Probably just let AI throw it up there.
They went 3 to 100. ChatGPT.
Randomized.
That's good. Let's do 3 of those, and then we'll pick the best.
Hold on. I'm going to do that right now. Let's see who ChatGPT thinks the top 10 athletes of the 2000s were.
That should be interesting.
Because, how do you not have Miguel Cabrera in that scenario?
Was Barry Bonds on that list?
Albert Pujols was, so I'm.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I'd have to go back to it now. I don't want to. I gave it enough energy.
I gave all my spat. I'm trying to think.
Man, I'm so lucky to have a wife that spoils me with dinner. Good Lord.
I'm trying to see who else was in the 2000s that was.
Who was the last Triple Crown winner?
Miguel Cabrera.
There you go. How do you not have that?
What about Verlander?
Yeah. I'm sure they're on the list.
I'm pretty sure.
I saw Floyd Mayweather at 25, and I saw fucking whoever I was saying in front of him.
Oh, Charles, you're gonna love this. Yeah. ChatGPT. All right, ChatGPT. It just determined them by sport. So number 1, golf, Tiger Woods. Number 2, Roger Federer, tennis. Number 3, Michael Phelps. Number 4, Usain Bolt. Number 5, Tom Brady. Number 6, Kobe Bryant, not LeBron James. Number 7, Serena Williams. Number 8, Lionel Messi. 9, Cristiano Ronaldo, and 10, Lance Armstrong. I fucking love that list.
Dude, I love that list.
I need you to write that down somewhere and let's post it.
A computer figured it out.
I love that list.
ESPN must have the Wish version of ChatGPT.
Apparently, they have some shit version.
70,000 contributors like that. Are you kidding me?
And we just
figured
it out.
Oh my god!
And it said it's subjective, but this is what we feel is the best for the decade. See, even though it's AI, it still has sympathy for people's views, but it was realistic.
I could argue one thing. Flip Serena and Federer.
Mm-hmm.
Serena at 2 and Federer at 7. But overall, regardless, yeah.
Wherever you want to rank it, using those 10 names, you can come out with a sick top 10 list.
Yeah, absolutely.
Federer was number 1 for the longest time of any tennis player ever, though.
And here's the thing, too. This is, we'll jump into it. We'll give everyone a final thought. This will be my final thought. The reasoning I have Kobe Bryant over LeBron James is very simple. Kobe Bryant left a stamp on the game that changed it for the better. LeBron James is putting a stamp on the game that will be diminished as time goes on. The LaFlop era is over. Kobe Bryant is remembered for many things, depending on who you are, blah, 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 poison, eat dick, for many things, and one included being his stamp on women and their ability to be who they are. The only real thing, me personally, and this is nothing against LeBron James as a basketball player, but the one thing I hear many people bring up is that school. And the one thing I hear nobody talk about is the graduation rate and the test scores coming out of that school. So it's fantastic that you built a box for people to be in, and that's awesome, and you furnish it, and you give lots and lots of money for it. That's fantastic. But miss me with that magic wonder bullshit, because John Cena deserves to be higher on that list just for the Make-A-Wish amounts that fucking guy has done and how he changed the WWE. He should definitely be in the top 20 all time. It's not my fault you can't fucking see him. All right, that was my final thought. Patrick.
Final thoughts. Yeah, I like the fact that AI came up with a list way better than anybody else probably could have. Yeah, you can flip-flop names. You can flip-flop numbers. Doesn't really matter.
PR? Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Patrick.
No, we're good. We're good.
PR?
We're good.
I need to go see this list because apparently I didn't pay. I just looked at the comments and
no, I told you I made it to 4 and I was already frustrated.
98% of the comments that I saw under the post when I saw it on Facebook and any clip that I saw on TikTok, it was just straight dog water. I'm like, and this is the thing. Most lists that are put out by major medias are subject to just dog shit. And it's like, I don't know what they're basing it off 90% of the time. Every now and then they get it right. But it's like most of the time it's just like, what are y'all reading? Like, and I'm gonna end it with this. These are the same. I promise you, I feel like you can't prove me wrong. The same people that make this list are the same people that are voting people into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And keeping people out of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Because I promise you, Pete Rose better get in before fucking Shohei Ohtani. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. I don't care. Barry Bonds deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I don't give a hell.
Yeah, we'll get to an episode where we talk about the guys who saved the MLB and then how they just drove a fucking bus over their faces. Mike, give us your last thought.
My last thought is I agree with you about the Kobe thing. Yeah. Kobe is arguably internationally responsible for the growth of the NBA. When you go to China, Japan, Thailand, anywhere over in the Asian part of the world, everybody wants to know about Kobe. Larry Bird has said it in interviews. Michael Jordan has said it in interviews. LeBron has said it in interviews. There is nobody more influential on the growth of the game than Black Mamba. So for me, if it was my list, I would go Phelps, Serena, Kobe.
Yeah. Yeah, and it would be hard to argue, which rolls us in to our topic of the evening, our top 10 quarterback list. And I do remember the question I wanted to ask, which is fantastic. Yeah. Do we want to start this from 1 or 10?
10.
Let's do 10.
10.
Okay, it's going to be hard because I'm just saying.
It might be hard.
I'm just saying because when you go from 10 to 1, sometimes you get to 5 and go, but 7's way better than 5. Okay, so let's switch 7 with 5. I'm just
we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Okay, so coming in at number 10.
What are the nominees?
This is going to be hard. All right, so the nominees, I'm thinking. Brock Purdy, Tua, Jordan, CJ, Aaron Rodgers, Matt Stafford, Dak Prescott. Now, just because those names are said now, and if none of them are picked, it doesn't mean they can't be said later or not said at all ever again. I just think comfortably those people deserve conversation for the number 10 spot. Yep. Should we add anybody?
I'm telling you right now, I'm not picking Aaron Rodgers. That's just off the gate. I'm not doing it.
We figured that one, but
I don't think Tua should be on the list. I'm not voting for Tua.
Yeah. For me personally, I think it probably comes down to Brock Purdy, Jordan Love, CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
Matt Stafford.
Yeah. I was going to say Matt Stafford would be it for me.
I don't know.
It begins already.
I don't know. I can't put a rookie in there. Can't put a rookie in there.
I can't put a rookie in there either.
Can't put a rookie in.
Which to me takes out CJ and Jordan. Yeah. I don't have enough.
Jordan technically was his rookie year.
Well, yeah, Charles and I talked about this last week that essentially that was his show me year, his rookie year.
Yeah.
Stafford probably is out of those remaining names because I still think Dak is better than Stafford, but not by much. But I do too.
I like Stafford at number 10. I do. I like Stafford at number 10.
Stafford's very solidified at 10.
Okay, hold on. I did forget Ryan Tannehill Jr.
We're not playing. Nah. Not for me. That's a negative for me.
Okay. All right. I had to mention his name once.
I know you're going to mention that name.
I had to mention his name once. We'll probably mention it in these next couple spots. So, Matt Stafford.
I think Stafford's at 10. I think that's the way going.
All right. I like Matt Stafford at number 10 as well. All right. So, we got Matt Stafford coming in at number 10. I like that. All right. Coming in at number 9. So we're going to throw Brock Purdy, Trevor Lawrence, Jalen Hurts, Aaron Rodgers, Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert.
To me, it's down
Did you say Jared Goff?
Ryan Tannehill Jr., we could throw him in there also.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
to
what
me,
you're talking. Okay.
To me, it's down to Aaron Rodgers and Dak.
If I got to pick between those two motherfuckers,
and to me, I'm favoring more Aaron Rodgers than I am Dak. Dak's higher on that list for me.
Okay. I just don't see how Aaron Rodgers makes this list right now, as of right now.
If it's down to Aaron Rodgers or Dak, I'm picking Dak. Yeah, and which to me then
those are the only two options.
Yeah,
but I'm not putting.
We got Trevor Lawrence. We took out Jordan Love and CJ Stroud. We'll do another one of these on Thanksgiving. We'll do another one.
Yes.
And then
give me 10 weeks. Yeah.
And then we'll do one at the end of the season, and we'll do our playoff list. We'll do those at the same time. But absolutely,
I feel you.
Because then we can revisit and see where we are comfortably.
Absolutely, we could see how wrong you were,
or how right we were.
I'd be okay putting Trevor Lawrence at 9.
I'm picking Jared Goff.
Jared Goff or Trevor Lawrence feels like a fit.
Jared Goff. Oh man, that's right.
Ryan Tannehill.
They feel like either one of those feels like a fit. I can see Jared Goff.
Here's my thing. I would never put Ryan Tannehill on a top 10 list. I'm not putting his fucking younger brother on the list.
That's fine by
Yeah,
me.
but if you don't put him on the list, you can't put Trevor Lawrence on the list because Goff is a better quarterback than Trevor Lawrence is.
Trevor Lawrence is completely off of any list for me. He's a terrible quarterback.
I just keep saying his name
absolutely.
because he's making way too much money, and it'll give us clickbait.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm raising my hand right now. I'm Dak Prescott.
Jared Goff.
I'm gonna go Jared Goff.
Dak Prescott here. All right. Now here we go. All right. Here we go. Okay, stats have to be the tiebreaker.
Yep.
Okay,
we don't have to. One has Ryan Tannehill stats, and the other was
almost
almost
the
MVP.
Don't do that. Don't fucking do that.
The only reason I would put Jared Goff here is because 9 is too low for Dak, in my opinion. I think it's not a high enough position for him.
I mean, and the pool doesn't get better, right? Because the names I'm leaving off are like, I did throw Jalen Hurts in there, but nobody touched it because it's way too early, and that's right. But then you've got Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes.
It's too early.
That's above, way too early for them.
Yeah.
What about Brock Purdy?
I can see Purdy at 9.
Yeah. So if we can't agree with Ryan Tannehill Jr. and Dak Prescott,
Brock Purdy works.
So by default, we're just going to put Brock Purdy at 9?
What about Kirk Cousins?
Nope.
I think Kirk Cousins is higher, but
there's not see, this is the problem with going from 10 to 1. There's not room the further we go up. And the further we go up, we have names like Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts. That's 5, right? And we're at 10 right now. So we have 4 spots to put the rest of these names because we're already discussing the 5 that come with 1 through 5, more or less.
Yeah. I think Brock Purdy is here. Taking Dak out because I think it's too low. Between Jared Goff and Brock Purdy, I would always go Brock Purdy.
I guess I'll agree. Purdy's probably that 10, 9, 8 quarterback. So I'm comfortable putting him there.
How many years does Purdy have to do the same thing? We're the same thing. We're the same. The same thing we're waiting on for Jordan and CJ. Purdy just did that last year.
He did it 2 years in a row.
That's what I'm saying.
No, he didn't.
He got hurt.
2022 doesn't. You can't. That's such a no. He came in like halfway through the season and couldn't complete. No, that first year is a wash.
He got hurt. No, okay, so the first year. No, I agree with you. The first year is a wash, but the second year was a reflection on what the first year was projecting.
Yes, I could see if Brock Purdy. For me, if he does it again this year and looks as good as he did, absolutely cemented top 10 quarterback. But you have to do it again on a second full season.
I think it's going to be hard not to with a team that has CMC, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Trent Williams, a lockdown offensive line, a crazy defense. I don't think those questions. I think the only question you can have with Brock Purdy is, does he stay healthy? Or does the 49ers stay healthy? But that doesn't take you off of a top 10 list.
Well, throw Cousins back in there then.
Because if that takes you off the list, then when we would do a running back list, running backs like Aaron Jones and Saquon Barkley shouldn't be considered. Because they're injured.
But here's the difference.
But they played great when they're not injured.
But the first year, Brock wasn't a starter at all. He came in as a
starting job. Yeah.
No, he didn't win the starting quarterback job. He lucked into it. I'm not saying he's not a decent quarterback.
You know who else lucked into it and did pretty good? # Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm saying like the first half of season that Tom Brady had in New England, and the first half of the season that Brock Purdy had, we washed those because it's not a full year as a starter.
The only difference in that story is Tom Brady didn't get injured in the playoffs like Brock Purdy did, and ended up winning the Super Bowl. Arguably, that if Brock Purdy didn't get hurt, the 49ers were going to win a Super Bowl.
All right, let's wash Purdy out too, since he's
good. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
I'm raising my hand again.
Last year, Purdy was a rookie year.
Sure. All right, we'll just do wash. All right, Kirk Cousins then. Yay, nay.
So who's better, Kirk Cousins or Jared Goff?
Jared Goff.
Man, you guys love Ryan Tannehill Jr. Is it because he's in a Detroit Lions jersey and not a Tennessee Titans jersey?
I'm just like, he's not a terrible quarterback.
The stats say otherwise.
Yeah.
I'm not calling Jared Goff Ryan Tannehill Jr. as a joke. Statistically, they're the same fucking quarterback.
But here, look.
I haven't seen
here's the difference.
Here's
the difference
Super Bowl
between
or an NFC Championship.
Yeah, but
that's what I was
look
going to
at
say.
the team that fucking the Rams had when Jared Goff was there. That matters.
Okay.
A lot.
Listen, he still
okay,
did it.
but
there's no. Let's hold on. This answers this. Hold on, this answers this. We have Matt Stafford at 10.
Defense was
Matt Stafford did what Jared Goff couldn't. We have Matt Stafford at 10. There's no way Jared Goff can be higher. Matt Stafford with the same team won a Super Bowl.
Then there's no way Kirk. Then there's no way Kirk Cousins. Then there's no way Kirk Cousins could be ahead of Matt Stafford either. Kirk Cousins shrinks like a goddamn daisy anytime a half a light is put on his face.
If that's the case, then Dak can't be ahead of him. Jordan Love, CJ, Lamar Jackson, none of these people, Burrow, none of them could be ahead of Stafford. If we're
Joe Burrow can.
Do you think Jared Goff is a better quarterback than Matt Stafford going into this season?
Yes. I think he's healthier. I think he has. I think he's going. I think.
I'm trying to ask questions to get Patrick on board with you guys. It's just I think we have to. If we remove Jared Goff from 9, he's definitely not 8, 7, 6.
No, I agree. I could put Jared Goff here.
What about Justin Herbert?
No.
I don't want him on my list.
Sure, Herbert don't belong in the top 10 either. He's got terrible fucking receivers. I bet you he's not a top 20 quarterback.
If you're willing to put Herbert on the list, you have to consider Goff.
Listen, Goff's quarterback rating of 85.2 was the highest of his career last season. Are we willing to put a quarterback whose best year ever got him to an 85.2 for a passer rating in a top 10 list?
No.
I understand the team. The Detroit Lions are a top 3 team in the NFL. That doesn't make Jared Goff a top 10 quarterback, because otherwise we're talking about a Rex Grossman here, gang. Well, if the Lions win the Super Bowl, it's not because of fucking Jared Goff.
This is the thing, right? I would rather
he just has to not lose them one.
I would honestly rather take Goff off and reinstate Jordan Love and CJ Stroud than put Goff on the list, because I think both.
Do we tie them? Do we tie them?
Yeah,
together?
we can do that. Let's do that then. Let's do that. We'll do a hash mark there. Because they're pretty. It's pretty.
PR's not happy. PR's not.
Hey, just
lay it on us, PR.
7.
Lay it on us, PR.
I'm just
back Jared Goff to me.
All right, yeah. Debate.
To me,
rebuttal.
The last year that he had, and even we'll just say the last 2 years in Detroit, he has progressively made the Detroit Lions better in the quarterback position.
Has he made them better, or the fact that they have got better running backs, better receivers got better?
But at the end of the day, he's still throwing the ball. It's not anybody else.
Yeah, they hand the ball off, and they ran 3 or 4 times.
Goff is a bottom 10 quarterback while facing pressure. Statistically.
On his back.
But you're saying that Goff is Ryan Tannehill Jr. But
Yes.
Ryan Tannehill hasn't done anything close to what Jared Goff has done.
You're right. Ryan Tannehill's team has not had the same team accomplishments as Jared Goff's team.
Who do the wins get attached to?
In this situation,
who do the wins get attached to?
Probably that defense.
I love that question. But in this situation, I would say the Rams defense.
Did the Rams defense win them their Super Bowl, or did Jared Goff Matthew Stafford win them the Super Bowl?
Because Jared Goff lost the Rams the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Same team.
I forgot which was
a year difference.
Yeah.
Same team.
Yeah.
And we're focusing hard on what the team around him was able to do, and I'm trying to focus on what he did in those team situations. Now, granted, yes, Ryan Tannehill never got the opportunity to show me if he could win or lose, but I'm also not putting Ryan Tannehill on a top 10 list. I would put Jared Goff. I would have absolute no problem putting Jared Goff 11, 12. But I don't think Jared Goff is better than Jordan Love or C.J. Stroud. I don't.
Fantasy football. All right, just for shits and giggles, I'm going to entertain you guys. Jared Goff is the 17th ranked quarterback in fantasy football.
Outside of ESPN's list, Jared Goff is outside of the top 15 on every other quarterback list. I'm looking at one right now from Fox Sports and Pro Football Talk.
Because this is my opinion. I don't.
Yes, yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Brock Purdy, I feel, is between 5 and 6, 5 and 7. That's where I would put Brock Purdy.
Okay.
That's why I'm not comfortable with putting Brock Purdy. But that's just me.
I'm in that same boat with you.
If I'm comfortable with putting anybody on the 9th spot, if it's not going to be Jared Goff, it's not going to be that, because again, I still think he's a little further up. The only names I guess I can consider is C.J. Stroud or Jordan Love, if we're bringing them back into the conversation. Those are the only two names. Tua can't be in this list because I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback. He's just a quarterback in the right system. So the only two names that we could debate, if Jared Goff is not going to be at the 9th spot or any other spot, clearly, because if he can't make it past 9, he's not going to go any higher.
I do have go ahead. I'm sorry, finish.
The only options that I can see suitable for the 9th spot right now,
Jordan Love
is Jordan Love and C.J. Stroud. Those are the only two names that I can consider for that spot, if it's not Jared Goff.
Now
we'll wash Purdy off. I'll agree with that one. I'll agree we wash Purdy off and we bring back Love and we bring back Stroud.
Let me reintroduce something. Let me reintroduce a scenario. The year Peyton Manning won a Super Bowl with the Broncos, would we put him in a top 10 list?
Absolutely not.
Probably not.
Now, he's coming off of the year where he set the touchdown record at 55.
Well, he lost that year.
To a better defense.
And even
absolutely.
The year that he lost in Broncos, where he had the passing, he was the offense. But he fit the bed because Seattle was a better defense.
Yeah.
The year that he won in Denver, his offense was atrocious and his defense carried him.
Rescued him, yeah.
Now, we know how the story ended. But what I'm asking y'all to do is to forget that and pretend it's the beginning. Would we be comfortable putting Peyton Manning at 10, 9, or 8?
After winning the Super Bowl in Denver?
No, after losing the Super Bowl and coming back. He had that amazing season, the one bad game.
Yes.
Why not? Maybe Aaron Rodgers deserves to be at 9.
I can't put a guy on the list who, and it's not his fault, obviously, but you play 4 seconds into your first game in a Jets uniform and you're out the rest of the season. That has to count against you being able to be a top 10 quarterback.
In Thanksgiving, when we do this, revamp this list again in Thanksgiving or by week 10, that could very well change for me. Yep. But if you're asking me for right now, going into 2024 season, I can't put him in my top 10.
That's perfectly fine. So now we cannot put two people. Now we have to debate C.J. Stroud or Jordan Love. And this
Aaron Rodgers at this point, Aaron Rodgers and Jared Goff are off the list.
Off the list. Yep.
Cool.
I think they are on the list from 11 to 20. And where you want to put them in there, I don't care.
But top 10, they're officially
out. Okay. So now we're talking about Jordan Love or C.J. Stroud. Okay. So this is going to be a very difficult argument because no matter what is said, I can flip it.
Pissed off.
Well, I can flip it on the other side for that guy or against that guy. So I'm going to sit back for a minute. And Patrick, you argue for Love, and we're going to hear arguments against him. PR, I'm going to put you in a different spot here. I'm going to keep you neutral. And you're a Bears fan, so I know when you're going to tell the truth because you're going to be upset when you tell it. You'll be happy.
There's three things. Well, 4 things going better for the Packers than there are for the Texans.
Yes.
You got a better defense, a better offensive line, probably have a better coach, and you don't have to rely on weapons because you don't need weapons. Love is the weapon, and he's got a better running back. Yeah, do you not think that Mixon is not as good as?
I think Jacobs is a much better running back.
Much better.
Josh Jacobs
is a one-trick pony.
Josh Jacobs is second to CMC. That is the only person Josh Jacobs is second to.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs in the last 5 years, number 2 behind CMC.
I love you, Mike.
But
you're outside.
This is the thing, okay? I could absolutely put Jordan Love here, And
of course,
I would have zero argument against that because essentially his rookie season, he came out and balled like a motherfucker with weapons who are little, like Pat said. He didn't
They're
need
not
big
even
names.
weapons. They're a bunch of
That's what
freaking
I'm saying.
nobodies.
yeah,
He
nobody's
didn't need
picking them in
big
fantasy.
names.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't need guys who were getting 150 yards
He
per
just balled
game.
the guy that was open.
He went and balled out. So I think Jordan Love here makes a fuck ton of sense for me. And actually, I would advocate more for Jordan Love at 9 than I would at CJ Stroud for 9.
We just haven't
Because
seen enough from CJ.
This is the thing. You could, if we wanted to flip it on its head, CJ exceeded every single expectation that anybody had of his rookie year. Exceeded beyond belief, right?
In a terrible division, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I will give it to the NFC North versus the AFC South. The NFC North is a much more competitive, harder hitting, shittier weather to deal with, worse stadium conditions, all of that. So the NFC North, I could actually argue for putting Jordan Love
Sharpens iron.
higher. I can put Jordan Love higher than I would CJ Stroud and put CJ Stroud at 9 because the factor of he does play in the division where your competition is, what's his name? Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah.
Holy shit. I'm going to wait just a moment. PR. You're muted.
There you go.
Oh, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Oh, I can hear you now. Okay.
So this is a very tough situation for me.
Yeah.
Because fuck the Packers.
He's telling the truth, people. He's telling the truth. He's telling the truth.
It's not like you're putting him in the top 5 or something. It's not that big of a deal.
I'm gonna lead with this. One, as a fantasy football enthusiast, and I've been doing fantasy football for at least 15 years now.
Yeah.
There have been many years that I have drafted Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback for my fantasy football, and people have looked at me like, you're a fucking moron. Listen, I hate the prick. However, I know what he's capable of. So I'm not, listen, when it comes to fantasy football, you play to win the game, okay? I don't give a fuck what's on your back or what's on your helmet. I'm drafting for different purposes. Does it hurt and burn my chest a little bit? Fuck yes.
Of course.
However, it is what it is. CJ Stroud, yes, he had this fantastic year. Jordan Love had a unprecedented year that nobody expected, except I think for maybe even Charles, if I'm not mistaken. When we talked about this well before into the preseason last year, we all had the anticipation of what we saw the year before he got the starting position. Like, this guy is dog water.
Yeah.
For some reason, Charles stood 10 toes down and stood on that hill all by himself and said, no, Jordan Love is our guy. And here we are, 365 days later. He is standing tall, proud, and just, this is my quarterback without the tears.
Yeah.
If I'm going to have to pick out of the two to put into the 9th spot, and in my opinion, whoever doesn't get picked basically is gone, because either one at the highest is maybe 8, maybe 7 pushing it, but whoever's left is very limited on their cap as far as for this year, as far as for our preseason type. But in this scenario, I think the biggest upside right now, just overall team-wise, is Jordan Love. Overall, he has the biggest upside on, and it's not saying he's like miles ahead of CJ Stroud, but just overall-wise, I think the team put together, I think right now, Jordan Love has the higher ceiling as of right now.
Okay.
And in a tougher division at that.
Yeah. Iron sharpens iron. Proposal. CJ Stroud, 9. Jordan Love, 8.
Absolutely. I can go with that.
I wouldn't be upset with that.
Patrick?
Pat?
Yeah.
I think
that's not, you can't be mad at that.
I don't think you could be mad at that at all.
Well, I think it'll reflect it in the stats as well during the season. So.
Absolutely. I think it'll be super.
Week 10 will make a huge difference to see what everything looks like record-wise, stat-wise, what everything is, and the bigger influence.
You guys want me to edit out the last 15 minutes? Or?
It's up to you, boss.
No, that's
No, it's a joke. It's a joke.
But it's exactly it. I can't argue against it. And Chaos brought up a great point. They are the same player. One did better with less. And I believe that's why we're putting CJ at 9 and Love at 8. And then we'll revisit this at Thanksgiving. I'm super comfortable with that because here's the kicker. The only argument I have for CJ Stroud is because of his weapons, I would take CJ before Love in a fantasy draft.
We will break down the fantasy draft, and then you can pick him.
But we'll see. Okay, so here we go. Interesting. Number 7. So we got Stafford at 10, CJ at 9, Love at 8, 7 coming in at number 7. So we have Brock Purdy.
I think the 3 that put in this mix is maybe Purdy, Prescott, and Hurts.
Yeah, okay. I agree.
I agree.
That would be the mix for 7 right now.
I vote for Hurts.
I put Purdy at 7.
Like, this one's a tough one too, because you can make an argument for either one of them, and one or two of them can still be higher on this list at some point.
Yeah. So it was between Dak,
Hurts,
and Purdy. I would vote.
Yeah, it's not that easy, huh, buddy?
You guys were just going to leave Brock Purdy off the list, and now you guys are voting for him. What the fuck just happened?
Well, we brought Jordan, so it's like I took him off because I
thought we were. That's why we weren't voting for him, because we wanted to put him higher than 9. Yeah.
Oh God, they're going to trade Ayuk, and he's not even going to be a top 10 quarterback. So
Ayuk was an afterthought in that offense.
He had quite a few yards and touchdowns.
I think honestly, he was better than Debo.
Covered. He was getting double covered.
Yeah, I think that's why I put him at 7, is because he is a good quarterback with fantastic weapons, but he is slated to lose one of his top 3 weapons, whereas Dak still has CeeDee Lamb for now. Jalen still has AJ and Smitty and Dallas Goedert, right? I think Purdy at 7 for me just makes the most sense.
Let me ask this, and just to throw it out there and see where everybody's head is at. So we're at 7, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to go up. Purdy, Dak, Jalen, or Purdy, Jalen, Dak.
Where we're at right now, those are the 3 names that we're deciding who's 7, who's 6, and who's 5. Yes, absolutely.
The way
Purdy is definitely not 5.
No, so I would go, and it fucking kills me to do this, but I would go Purdy 7, Jalen 6, Dak 5.
And this is the thing, statistically, Dak has better numbers. Statistically.
Yeah.
If we look at the time that Hurts has been the starter and compare the last 3 years with Dak, they have damn near identical numbers.
I'm not saying that like he's got like blowing Jalen Hurts out the water.
Yeah. No,
and this is the thing.
And last year is a big thing for me. Last year, again, as much as it kills me to give anybody with a fucking star on their helmet any kind of prop.
He had an MVP season last year.
He did. And he was probably a couple of plays away from being able to beat Patrick Mahomes out for or Lamar Jackson out for the MVP.
I'm fine with Purdy, Hurts, and Dak in that order, moving up. 7, 6,
5.
Yeah,
5.
I'm more comfortable with that. Yeah.
Unless
weird.
You got a different.
I didn't realize that when we threw them out that they were still in the loop. I didn't realize when we kicked the guy out that we were taking them out. I didn't know there was extra.
Yeah. Like I had said. Names can be said again further up or not at all.
I did catch that, but I think I forgot 2 of the names. Yeah. Because we threw out Tannehill Jr. and
I like that too. I like that too.
All right, let's roll with that.
So we're gonna do Dak, Jalen, Purdy.
So we got Stafford, Stroud, Love, Purdy, Hurts, and then Dak at 5.
So we've got the 10 through 6, Stafford, CJ, Love, Purdy, Jalen.
No, we got Dak. Dak was 5.
No, Dak is 5.
Dak was 5.
Yes. Now that was 10 through 6. Now we're starting the top 5. We're starting the top 5. And
he was just doing the bottom 5.
Yeah, I was just doing the bottom 5. Yep. Now to start the top 5, we put Dak at 5.
I was saying it's consensus. We got 3 out of 4 already. So, all right, are you good with 5? Are you good with that, Charles?
The crazy thing is, I wish I wasn't.
Yeah,
but
I am. It makes sense.
It makes complete
total
sense.
Right. For
it
now,
makes complete.
Like
yeah, absolutely.
This shit could change in 10.
All right. Now 4.
So now we have.
It gets a little hairy. This is where it gets hairy for me.
Tricky.
Yeah, we have Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes. Are we putting any other name in that mix?
No.
Are we taking any names out? It's impossible if we're not putting any names in.
I don't know about you guys, but I've got Burrow.
You have Burrow at 4.
I've got Burrow at 4.
Okay.
I could do Burrow at 4. That makes sense to me since he was injured.
I don't know what he's going to be this year with that injury. I don't know what he's going to be. He could be bottom 10.
And you don't know what he's going to be with that shit offensive line again.
Yeah, that's true.
He has good weapons, but Joe Burrow has also been one of the quarterbacks that has been most sacked in the league a couple of times.
With that,
and it's catching up to him for sure. It's catching up to him.
So yeah,
physically.
Burrow at 4 makes the most sense to me.
I like Lamar Jackson at 4.
I could go there too.
They're halvesies for me, but I'll take Burrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Burrow has had more playoff success, and that's
Here's
why.
The thing.
That's why I put Lamar at 4 over Burrow.
As much as I hate to say that, the only reason I'll give Lamar a nod over him for at least a spot would be because he was the MVP.
Twice.
That's it. Yeah, that's the only reason.
Yeah.
But being the 4th best quarterback in the league in the NFL is not a terrible position. It's not a knock.
No, not at all.
It's not a knock. But the NFL isn't about the regular season, and the MVP is about the regular season. To me, I'm thinking about Super Bowl wins, and Lamar Jackson hasn't shown me he can do it in the playoffs. And this was his best fucking chance ever.
Here's the thing, Lamar
and he
Jackson,
still failed.
If he keeps failing and only getting to the playoffs, he might not go down as a Hall of Fame quarterback because he probably will injure himself right out of contention.
He could.
He's got one more season to play.
I think his window is less than 3 years. I agree.
Yeah.
To me, it isn't about what you do in the regular season for this list. I'm not wondering who's going to be the best regular season quarterback. I'm wondering my hopes is that 1, 2, and 3 are playing for the NFL championship. However it is, 3v1, 2v1. I don't see Lamar Jackson on that list. But
let me ask you this.
A healthy Joe Burrow is in the playoffs and does better than Lamar.
So if Lamar, let's just say in the next 2 years, 2-3 years, we'll say 2-3 year time frame, because that's what you're saying him before he just drops off. Yeah. Right? He wins 1 or 2 titles. Does that make him a top 3 quarterback for the next 5 years?
He wins a Super Bowl. He wins a Super Bowl. I'm going to start putting Lamar Jackson in the conversation for one of the best quarterbacks of all time. But right now, if you're asking me who's better, Lamar Jackson or Dan Marino, I'm telling you Dan Marino.
Yeah.
And this also, you have to play this into a factor. I know people hate to do this, but it's like it goes with this style of play. Lamar Jackson style plays to go with even Michael Vick, RG3. Yes. When you're a scrambling quarterback, Cam Newton, that style of play is only going to do you so good for so long. If you're not able to
hit from a linebacker,
but not just that, if you can't hone in on the actual position, yes, I'm glad that you can be mobile. I'm glad that you can move on your feet and keep the play alive. However, how are you also when it's in the pocket? Because you're a quarterback. Yes, it's great that you can rush 1,000 yards in a season.
Do you guys realize that no matter, and I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
But no matter what happens, there was only one quarterback on our top 10 list with a Super Bowl win.
Yeah.
Oh, Stafford.
Two. Stafford. There's Stafford. 2. Thank God. Thank you, Maddie.
Patrick Mahomes and Stafford.
Oh, Patrick Mahomes and Stafford. Crazy. But there is a quarterback in the top 5 with sub-4 playoff wins, and that's fucking crazy to me.
Yep. That's true.
That we're talking we're having a legitimate discussion about a quarterback who can't win in the playoffs because he has personal hardware earned during a regular season.
I mean, because realistically, if we're throwing in playoff success, Hurts should be ahead of Dak Prescott. Hurts should be ahead of Lamar Jackson. He's had more playoff success than both of those quarterbacks, if we're throwing that into account. Now, for me, I think I could fit Lamar at 4 over Burrow and put Burrow at 3 and be completely fine with that because Burrow has had more, again, playoff success.
I've got more faith that Lamar Jackson's going to repeat his success that he had last season than Joe Burrow is going to have any success this year because he was hurt. That's the only reason why I justify it.
My list.
I'm being a dick about it.
No, you're not. Honestly, I think it's Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson.
See, for me,
if you want to stay healthy, yes.
I have to assume healthy.
If I'm picking top 4, just as let's just put it out there. Everybody put the remaining. If I'm putting the 4 in my way, I'm putting Patrick Mahomes at number 1, Josh Allen at 2, Burrows at 3, and Lamar at 4.
So these are the team. These are like the players that you don't want to face them in an order. 1, 2, 3, 4.
This is my 1.
And we're assuming health. And to a point on Dak Prescott also, it wasn't so much that we were trying to point out other people's playoff success as much as it was the lack of success from one specific player. Because honestly, there is massive success on this entire list.
Because Brock Purdy's got success.
Absolutely.
Again,
and he's been in and played in one, but been in 2 Super Bowls. We can use that. It wasn't so much about the success as much as it was the inability to obtain the succct.
Being a top 4 position.
And there's always a fuckload of excuses. It just seems like there's way too many excuses. It's always somebody else's fault. But in my mind, you're talking about a guy who's an MVP who, even with all those faults, couldn't get it done. But other people are in those same scenarios.
Okay, I've changed my mind.
Same shit.
I've got Lamar, Allen, Burrow, Mahomes. My bad. All right, that's how I feel. That's my vote.
I could do. My initial list was Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Lamar.
Yeah.
So I'm out.
That's mine. That's 3.
Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Lamar.
I'm like, Burrow and Allen are interchangeable, so I'm not upset with that. You know what I'm saying?
It was a 2-3 deal for me too.
So it's not. I'm not like about to throw a big old fucking hissy fit. I'm like, because again, Josh Allen and Joe Burrow right now, I think are Patrick Mahomes' biggest competition when it comes to especially out of the AFC in itself.
A healthy Burrow beat Mahomes in the playoffs. We're not even talking about the regular season. Something Lamar Jackson could not do, or Josh. And Josh hasn't been able to do it either. Yeah. So assuming health. But to Patrick's point,
Josh Allen's only 5-5 in the playoffs in his career.
Yeah. To Patrick's point, come Thanksgiving, if Burrow's hurt again, we need to plaster his points all over the videos, and we can never put Burrow on a fucking list again because he can't stay healthy, and I'm okay with that.
This is the thing, Burrow, this might be his last chance. Yeah. His body is physically going to just...
It's like Cincinnati is holding the team around him with duct tape. And
electrical tape, fucking...
This is his last year because pieces are going to fall out.
And his offensive line is not helping in his case in any shape or form.
Oh, no.
They've got so much money into the weapons and the defense that there's nothing left to protect Burrow, and that is a spell for disaster. And we're not talking about, with this list specifically, something we stayed away from, and we did wonderful, gang. And we tried to veer towards it a little bit, but we didn't focus on team success as much as we focused on player ability. Yep. That's something, and I love that. I absolutely love that, because if we were focused on team success, Ryan Tannehill Jr. deserves to be on this list. He's on teams that make it far. And I think that's where people get lost with Goff. I really do, because he's on teams that make it far, and nobody makes it there without a great quarterback until you remember Rex fucking Grossman.
Well, and the other reason I'm okay leaving Jared Goff off of this list as opposed to Hurts, Purdy, is because Jared Goff has been the reason that his teams have lost before, whereas Purdy has not been the reason that his team has lost. Jalen Hurts has not been the reason that his team has lost. Now, have they contributed to losses? Absolutely. But Jared Goff, I can absolutely point to games where Jared Goff is playing so shitty that it didn't matter how the rest of his team is playing.
3 or 4 games a year.
Yeah, that's why and you can't say that about Dak. You can't say that about Jalen. You can't say it about Dak against Green Bay, but you can't say that about Brock Purdy. Yeah, leaving Jared Goff off, that is the biggest factor for me. He's been the cause of losses. Whereas most of these quarterbacks, you put the ball in their hand and they're going to deliver.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Philly faced a fucking gauntlet last year. We faced San Francisco, Kansas City, and Buffalo back to back. And we beat 2 out of those 3 quarterbacks. We beat Patrick Mahomes. We beat Josh Allen in games that we were supposed to lose.
Do you want to know a crazy stat for Jared Goff?
Yes.
He has 9 playoff games played. He has 8 touchdowns.
That's it?
That's it. He has 8
That's
touchdowns.
Horrible.
He has 8 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
Jared Goff stats do not get better the more you
That
read.
is crazy.
They don't.
That is crazy. He's only got 2 picks, but
and this is why I'm revisiting the Jordan Love contract thing. When you're living in a world where Ryan Tannehill Jr. got a bunch of money, Trevor Lawrence got a bunch of money, you're looking at myself and I'm way better than all of them. There's no way I'm taking less money than them. And then you have Green Bay on the other hand, where yes, you have, but you didn't prove that for a full season, and we want to see more. We know you are it. We love you. Blah 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 blah. That's just how business works. Do I think the contract is going to be done? Yes. $280 million is going to be a hell of a lot cheaper now than the $320 to $340 you're going to have to pay him next year.
You want to compare the list?
Yes.
I got the ESPN list up.
Okay, so our list, and we'll go one.
We'll go one. All right, you say one, and I'll say
let's raise fingers on what we got right with ESPN.
So,
how about the ESPN got right with us?
All right.
Number 1, Mahomes.
However way you want to spin
number
it.
Number 1 is Mahomes.
All right.
There's
one thing.
Number 2, Burrow.
Correct.
Number 3, Allen.
Correct.
Number 4, Lamar.
Correct.
Number 5, Dak. Number 6, Jalen. Number 7, Purdy. Number 8, J Love. Number 9, CJ Stroud. Number 10, Matt Stafford. So
they only agree with the top 4. Interesting.
All right, hit us 5 through 10.
I can't wait.
5 to 10, and then there are 6 honorable mentions that they have.
Yeah.
So 5 through 10, Matthew Stafford at 5, Herbert at 6, Stroud at 7, Rodgers at 8, Goff at 9, Prescott at 10.
No.
They're honorable mentions in order: Purdy, Love, Hurts, Tua, Cousins, Trevor Lawrence.
It's just they really mushroomed. There's a big discrepancy between Trevor Lawrence and even Tua. Let's be honest. Come on, that's a pretty broad fucking brush, if you ask me.
That is a shitty list.
You can't have a guy who you were talking about closing down so he doesn't ruin his career as a top 5 quarterback.
This is my thing.
Yeah.
There's nothing on this planet and no one that can conceivably convince me on why Justin Herbert is ranked 6th on this list. There's nothing that you can tell me.
What did he? Okay, what did he do last year? Nothing.
He was hurt 99% of last year.
He hasn't done anything in the 4 nothing
since his rookie season. His rookie season, he had fantastic rookie numbers, but he's trash as a starting quarterback. Garbage. We'll see how the big difference that Harbaugh is going to make, but I just don't see it getting better for Justin Herbert. I don't.
I'm going to screenshot this list.
I think Justin Herbert is in my honorable mention.
I give him top 15. Yeah, I give him top 15.
I can't give him top 15, and it's weird. Hear me out on this. Mm-hmm. He's in an honorable mention in a prize pool type thing. Or like when you're playing Magic the Gathering and you get your fucking ass kicked in the first round and you go into your pool and you pull out an extra couple cards to help you out to see if this works. And the reason I've got him in this pool is because Jim Harbaugh turned J.J. McCarthy into a top 15 NFL draft pick.
True.
If he can turn J.J. McCarthy into that, if Justin Herbert is anything that everyone says he is, Harbaugh is going to turn this dude into a dog.
We'll see come week 10.
And I was just going to say,
rabbit hole. Dude, I went down a rabbit hole.
Where'd you go?
Wait till you hear this shit, dude. Justin Herbert's mom, Holly S. Herbert on Instagram, dude, she's got an Etsy shop. and she freaking has some of the craziest freaking abstract art I've ever seen. There's a koi fish, and then one of them's a skeleton of a koi fish, and then there's koi fish snakes, demon eye cats, a teary ass freaking bleeding moon sun looking thing. Dude, is she tripping balls on mushrooms when she's drawing some of this shit?
Isn't she from California?
They're from the West Coast.
Dude, this is crazy. Her art is nuts.
I can't put Herbert on a top 10 list. Can't.
And then Matthew Stafford is fifth?
Yeah, I can't do that. This is the thing, right? I get he won a Super Bowl.
But you're not going to sit here and tell me he's going into next year as a top 5 quarterback in the league. There's no way.
Listen, do you know who I equate Matthew Stafford to? He's a little bit more athletic Nick Foles to me.
I figured it out. I fucking figured it out.
You figured it out?
I figured out why they put Matthew Stafford on top 5. His weapons. Now, granted. Hold on. If you want to do that, let's just put this on paper. Let's just be realistic. If you're because his you got Cooper
Cup.
got Cup, you got Puka, you got Kearon Williams. You have weapons.
Well, now you've got Blake Corum.
But this
you got.
I hear you. That's great. Matthew Stafford at 5, right? Arguably, just roll with me for conversation purposes. Jalen Hurts has a better supporting cast than Matthew Stafford does, theoretically.
Than almost any team in the league, yeah.
So you're gonna sit here and tell me that Matthew Stafford, in his old age as a quarterback, is top 5 material, but you keep putting Jalen Hurts in the top 10?
It seems like they grabbed a list of criterias on what they could build the list around, and went, let's do this one. Picked
Even Brock
3.
Purdy.
Oh no, they
picked
made
3
a list
people.
to piss people off.
Yeah, they picked 3 people using that criteria, and then went, hey, we can't fill the list with, so let's use another criteria to put these people in. And they just started picking random criterias and not realizing that the other criterias clash with each other.
Whenever one of y'all finish writing this list, put it in the chat because I need to take a screenshot of this shit because I'm posting the screenshot of this raggedy little 10 and I'm gonna post side by side.
Post ours and then post that one and then to see who votes for which one. Yeah, I guarantee you that ours is gonna be a hell of a lot better than that one.
But see, and this is, you know what, this is what kills me too, and I was just thinking about this while you guys were talking. Justin Herbert had a really good rookie season, right?
That's it. Yeah.
Nick Foles in 2000, what was it? That Chip Kelly year, 2013. 27 touchdowns and 2 picks. 7 touchdowns in a game. Tied the most touchdowns, most passing touchdowns in a game in NFL history. Mm-hmm. He arguably had a better season that year than Herbert had his rookie season.
Yep.
But people, and Foles has won a Super Bowl, and he was the Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
People
couldn't save the Bears.
Understand.
If he could save the Bears, maybe people would talk about him better.
I'm just saying, you can't put Justin Herbert on the list when he can't make or match the accomplishments that Nick Foles, who is by everybody's account, he's a straight journeyman quarterback who had a couple of good years. Justin Herbert, to me, is going to go down as one of those quarterbacks that had the ability, like nobody's questioning that he can slang the ball all over the field, but he's not a good quarterback. He's not one of those guys where it's 2 minutes in the fourth quarter and y'all are down. I'm going to give the ball to Justin Herbert. No, fuck no. He showed he can't do it.
I would not be surprised if our Week 10 list has him on it.
He's going to have to show me. He's going to have to show me.
Because of the Harbaugh effect. I'm not.
And that's fine. And I'm okay with putting him on the list. But you have to show me why you deserve it.
Yes, no, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
I'm not questioning so much as more as I'm saying with Harbaugh, because if he doesn't make it into the top 10 with Harbaugh, he's gonna go. There's not even a question. Harbaugh will get rid of him.
Oh yeah, no, Harbaugh's not putting up with that shit. I mean, look.
But there were many reports that the only reason Harbaugh took the Chargers job because he was going to the NFL. And because Michigan was fucking him around. And Michigan was fucking him around, blah, 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 blah. There's all this talk. We could talk about that. And we'll probably hit that in a different episode. But anywho, the reason he picked the Chargers wasn't money or location. It was Herbert. At one point, he was at a ball, or he was at some event somewhere, and I hate that it came from fucking Pete Thamel, but...
Pete Hamill?
Him and Pete talked for 10, 15 minutes, and there was no chatter about him going to the NFL, and all he talked about was Justin Herbert and how amazed he is by Justin Herbert and his talent. Listening to Harbaugh talk about Herbert, it was like Harbaugh talking about McCarthy was practice for him talking about Herbert. It was dangerous, scary. So and because of my trust in Harbaugh, it's the only reason why I can sit here and comfortably say I'm not going to be shocked when we put him on the top 10 list come week 10. And the names that I think will be up for question for removal are honestly 7 through 10. And I don't know if that's going to be removal or movement. But I think 7 through 10, regardless, will have movement at week 10, either up or down.
The only reason I think Harbaugh, if Harbaugh didn't have his previous NFL experience, I don't think the Harbaugh effect would be nearly what it is. Right?
I don't think that's true.
Harbaugh has won everywhere.
No, but look, this is what I'm telling you, right? Like, okay, Harbaugh went to Michigan or was in San Francisco, right, as a head coach. Brought him to the Super Bowl. Yeah. Brought him to the Super Bowl with Colin Kaepernick, who, let's be honest, was maybe top 25 quarterback at that time. Was not mediocre. A good quarterback.
He was a starter. We could put him on a list.
He was a top 32.
Great running back.
He was a top 32 quarterback. Absolutely.
He was a top 32 quarterback. So
33.
Harbaugh, that gave him stupid. That experience coaching in the NFL and seeing how different the college game versus the NFL game is makes a huge difference. It absolutely does. Yeah. For coaching, for players, for everybody. If you get that experience, it makes it a big difference.
That's why at Michigan and Stanford, he brought in coaches from the NFL. Yeah. He ran NFL offense. That's why they won a national championship. They ran an NFL. They ran such a crazy scheme, and Moore is actually still running it at Michigan. They're running an NFL
I know, and that's my point. If Harbaugh doesn't, if Harbaugh doesn't have that NFL coaching experience, I don't know that him coming to the NFL for the first time now would still have the same effect.
No,
now,
it wouldn't.
Harbaugh coming to Justin Herbert is intriguing because, one, Harbaugh has quarterback experience, right? He was a quarterback in the NFL. He was like a backup quarterback in the NFL. So you have that. You also have a Super Bowl appearance as a head coach. And then you go back down to college and you are a national championship winning head coach. So you have big game experience. Who's the last head coach that Justin Herbert had that had big game experience? Not one. Not a single one.
No. So I think the ball like Colin Kaepernick. They have the same throwing motion.
Yeah.
That's why Harbaugh likes him then.
Well, Charles said
maybe
he had to have seen something in this guy to say, hey, I know you can physically make these throws. We just need to get you the weapons to be able to do it. That might not be this year. Maybe it's next year in the draft. Who knows?
But I think he was smart to go after Joe Alt when he went after him.
Oh, for sure. He's got a left tackle now.
They lost their center on health.
Left tackle.
Yeah. They lost Lindsey.
Crazy.
Yeah, they lost Corey Lindsey due to he retired due to health reasons, and Green Bay Packer fans know him well.
Yeah.
I think where Herbert is fucked is he doesn't have receiving talent.
No,
like
you've
got
the division that he's in.
Well,
I don't know if Blake Corum can catch out of the backfield because I didn't watch Michigan games like that, so I don't.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he can catch out of the backfield like that. But Quentin Johnston, that's his wide receiver one.
Here's the thing. In this scenario, we focus on names, but we don't realize that the head coach is going to put randoms in position to become a name.
True.
Hey, people are going to want to come and play for Harbaugh. Just to be honest,
it's going to be a shit show, but how is he going to polish this shit show is the question.
It's not going to be a Sean Payton shit show.
I'm hoping not.
It doesn't.
I'm like
Harbaugh has a different effect.
I'm not saying that I don't have confidence in Harbaugh's ability to coach, because clearly we've seen it in.
No, I have confidence in his ability to show us if Herbert is anything.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely.
Like this is the year Herbert. Now it's almost like you have no excuses. Yes, you don't have weapons. I'm going to give you this year and next year because one, you're getting into a new system, new head coach. You got to build your weapons. Fine. If you're able to get your weapons within this year and next year, by the time next year starts, I'm expecting, if you're going to be number 6 on my list in 2024, not mine, but ESPN's list, by next year, I need to see why they put you number 6 on this list.
Well, he's got his contract. That's basically what it boils down to. If he balls out next year, he'll get an extension at the end of the year. But if he doesn't ball out next year, he'll be playing for his position the following year. And at that point, I'm pretty sure Harbaugh have him cut out. So we're going to recap that. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and then he'll be a high-priced ass free agent for Dallas or New York or somebody like that, who their quarterback situation is fucked. And Herbert is an instant improvement over if Dak leaves. Who's the Cooper Rush or Trey Lance?
Yeah, but Harbaugh isn't going to let Herbert leave at that point. And Harbaugh has those front office choices.
He's got GM power?
Yeah. He's like
he's the next Bill Belichick.
Chip Kelly?
No, he's the next.
He's the next Bill Parcells. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. He's the next Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick. Okay, so we're going to recap our top 10 list just for AI purposes. Top 10 quarterbacks heading into the 2024 season. Boys with the heat collab.
Yeah.
Number 1, Patrick Mahomes. Number 2, Joe Burrow. Number 3, Josh Allen. Number 4, Lamar Jackson. Number 5, Dak Prescott. Number 6, Jalen Hurts. Number 7, Brock Purdy. Number 8, Jordan Love. Number 9, CJ Stroud. Number 10, Matt Stafford. PR, you got any dad jokes for us?
I got a couple.
All right, hit us with them dad jokes. And then today we're going to learn about New Hampshire.
All right. Number 1. Why was the weeping willow so sad? This is stupid.
Yeah.
It watched the Sappy movie.
movie.
I don't remember Willow's being sappy.
I don't know.
I don't remember either.
People don't realize that benefits of a sun-dried grapes. I'm raising awareness.
You're raising awareness.
Sun-dried grapes. Here are some interesting facts about New Hampshire. New Hampshire, which I'm pretty sure that's exactly how you pronounce it, but New Hampshire became the 9th state of the United States on June 21st, 1788. 12 years after one of the greatest years of all time, 1776. It's often called the Granite State due to its abundant granite supply. The pink Conway granite and gray Concord granite were quarried locally and used in structures across Boston, Washington, D.C., and other towns. So basically, New Hampshire was the foundation for your cities like Boston, Washington, D.C., and surrounding towns that had money. That's neat. Mount Washington, home to extreme weather conditions. It's the highest peak in northeastern U.S. I didn't realize that's fucking, the Appalachian Mountains don't go all the way up to goddamn New Hampshire, do they?
No, this is a whole different range.
They're a whole different range. I didn't know that even. Mount Washington?
I don't know nothing about that.
I ain't heard nothing about that. The Animaniacs failed me.
Animaniacs.
State capital, which the Animaniacs did not fail me because Concord is the capital of New Hampshire. So you have Concord as the capital city of New Hampshire. This was funny. New Hampshire boasts several iconic products that have made their mark. Here are a few noteworthy ones. Pitco Friolators. If you've ever enjoyed French fries, donuts, chances are they were cooked in a Pitco Friolator. These fryer, pasta cookers, and oil filtration systems are used in top chain restaurants across the United States and over 100 countries worldwide. So basically, your deep fried food.
The home of the deep fryer.
The home of the deep fryer is New Hampshire. It rhymes too, so you can put that right in a Dr. Seuss book. All right, all right. Oh, man. How pissed do you think New Hampshire was when air fryers came out? I'm looking forward to the state that pops up with the air fryer. And then New Hampshire is going to have to fight the air fryer state.
It's probably somebody like West Virginia or something.
Shout out Jake Paul for beating ass for money again. Well done.
Yeah, beat up a washed up MMA fighter. Congratulations.
Birding
and then
chocolate
and he's
mice.
still calling out a 58-year-old Mike Tyson.
Dude, Mike Tyson's gonna kill him. Mike Tyson freaking hits 5 times harder than freaking Diaz does. Good luck with that.
Well, Mike Tyson has to make it in the ring. Let's just be honest. He's got to make it to the ring.
Mike Tyson also knows how to box. That's a whole different thing.
Mike Tyson don't need to move around. He'll be fine.
No, I know that. Once he gets in the ring, it's a different story. I'm just saying he needs to get to the fucking ring.
This is what kills me about Jake Paul. Like,
I don't believe anything's going on with Tyson. I think people are
just
making
This motherfucker had the balls to say he would beat Canelo in a boxing match. Do you know what Canelo would do to that boy? He would cripple him in the first 2 rounds. Like, Canelo would hit.
Let's be honest. Jake Paul is not. He's not a joke. Can he box? Yeah, I've watched him. I watched him fight Diaz. He did beat Diaz's ass. The problem is Diaz is not a fucking boxer. Diaz had to learn how to box just like freaking Jake Paul.
How many times did he almost kick Jake Paul in that match?
Oh, that one rocked him, that one left jab, and then he came with the right, and he freaking caught him up under the chin, and Paul freaking, his eyes went, he did the rocking thing where you're like, oh, shit, but he caught himself. Good for him.
Let's be honest with Jake Paul. He's a YouTuber, and he's just there for money purposes.
And it's working.
I'm gonna make $20 million.
It's working, though.
I'm gonna make $20 million if I win. You're going to make $4 million if you win, so I'll give you $8 million to lose.
Yeah, take the dive.
It's very simplistic, and
it happens a lot in boxing, unfortunately, and it's been proven to happen a lot in boxing.
And most of these matches aren't regulated, right? No. Like, it's not by a gaming fighting commission or nothing.
Yeah, no,
like
it's all exhibition shit. But it also shows you why.
It's entertainment.
It also shows you why these guys won't go into MMA. Like, you're calling out Conor McGregor. Okay, motherfucker, go fight Conor in the cage. See what happens.
Conor can't be bought. He's got too much money.
The other thing is, too, neither one of these are being drug tested either. Who knows what the hell Paul's on? Because Paul got freaking huge, too. He was not that big.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I still remember when they were YouTube weirdos for little kids, and then said something stupid and got pissed off a whole bunch of parents.
Jake Paul used to be on the Disney Channel. Let's just
let's look at the list of opponents that he's faced. Ben Askren, Nate Robinson. Come on, you're fighting guys. Ben Askren hasn't been at the prime of his MMA career since before he got knocked out by Jorge Masvidal.
We did just out loud answered that question, though. He can't fight anyone in his prime in these scenarios because these aren't not only that, but they're not sanctioned. Fight like they're not. It's not real.
They'd have to drug him. He'd have to drop weight. He'd have to be at the weight. Yeah, exactly.
What I'm telling you is happening right now is the new version of the WWE,
which is going to Netflix apparently, huh?
But less entertaining.
As of right now, 1,000,000 times less entertaining. But I'm telling you, you start getting a bunch of. We're talking about a scenario like the Big Three here, right? Where he doesn't need to have the primetime fighter show up. He just needs names to show up when they can. And as long as names keep showing up when they can, those names are going to make more money than they will winning somewhere else, and he's going to continue to do what he's doing. Now, because of the entertainer that he is, there's no way Tyson Fury's brother was going to lose to a YouTuber. It's impossible.
Fuck no.
Right?
Not at all.
But it still made an assload of money. So that's, you got to give it to him. They're marketers.
He's smart for what he's doing, but I think this is the thing. Like, boxing has been essentially dead since the UFC became a global phenomenon, right? Yeah. When we grew up watching boxing, you had Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis. You had the Puerto Rican boxer. Good God bless his name. Anyways, you had Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones
Pacquiao.
Jr., Manny Pacquiao. You've had all these different
even
weight
the early
classes.
Mayweather days.
Yeah.
Really
We need to save this for another episode, gentlemen. We're running up on 2 hours and 22 minutes.
Yep.
We're going to finish the New Hampshire. I didn't mean to sneak the fight thing in there. I'm sorry. We all love it. We will get to it in another episode, I promise. Burdick chocolate mice. We're just going to finish this New Hampshire list real quick. Burdick chocolate mice. These adorable and delicious chocolate mice from the L.A. Burdick and Walpole have become a signature item. Even Facebook founder Marky Zuckerberg and his wife Priscilla Chan. Sorry about that. Priscilla Chan enjoyed them on their first date. Has anyone had a Burdick chocolate mice? Globe Fire Suits. Globe Manufacturing Company, located in Pittsfield, New Hampshire, invented the modern firefighting suit. Their waterproof gear protects first responders globally, and they continue to innovate with safety systems. I didn't know that either.
Me either.
Well done, New Hampshire. Coming in, New Hampshire came in tough.
Better than Idaho.
Way better than Idaho and Missouri. Way better. Actually, without New Hampshire, Idaho wouldn't even be relevant.
Yep.
How would they cook all the potatoes?
A lot of these colonial area states are going to have a lot of stuff that they're known for.
Yeah, that's cool. It'll be cool to see. Yeah. And then Badger Balm. Badger Balm, developed in 1993, Badger Balm provides relief for dry hands. From the original hand balm to sunscreens and bug repellents, their certified organic body care products are a hit. Well done, New Hampshire. That was really good. I loved the episode today, gentlemen. It was fantastic.
Absolutely.
And we got a lot to talk about on upcoming episodes. F1 circuit is heating up. It looks like the F1 figured their problem out. It hasn't been as dominating. In 13 races, we've had 7 winners now. Ooh. Going into the season, I think in 6 races, we had 2 winners.
Wait, 1. And then you had 2.
Yeah, 4 races, and we had... No, because he ended up getting into an accident in race 2 and did not...
The DNF.
The DNF. But he was winning that one too, yeah. But yeah, F1's getting exciting again. As long as it's not Monaco. Fuck Monaco.
Monaco.
Otherwise, thank you guys. You guys got anything else you want to add or put to it?
Let's see. For me, we just appreciate you guys watching, man. Like, y'all supporting and watching the show means the fucking world. And Chucky and Pat both said, and PR said too, we've got some cool shit coming up between fantasy football and the Olympics and football season getting ready to start. There's some cool shit that's coming up. So you guys keep watching and stay tuned. And I promise the shit is going to be entertaining on a whole new level soon.
Can't wait. Not only fans feet pick entertaining, but even
No. We stay out of that.
Wait a damn minute.
No, we're not doing it.
So you're telling me big toes are on the market. Big toes are on the market. All right.
Not my big toe.
I've been told many times I have model feet. I'm not sure what that means, but hey. So thank you, as Mike was saying, thank you to all of our listeners out there, our subscribers, our sharers, our commenters. We appreciate you. Good news for all of our listeners out there, I was bullied into making a TikTok account. So I'll be making a TikTok account
everybody.
soon.
Not bullied.
I was basically taken out back and smashed with a wet noodle. We're talking, damn. The only thing worse that's happened to me this year so far is the Green Bay Packers draft pick.
I want you to use your TikTok account as your Twitch account for you to post all of your sports highlights and accolades, because you keep sending them to the group. You got to share them with everybody. You can't share them. So come on.
Oh man! All right. See what I'm saying?
Comment on things.
Straight smashed with a wet noodle. So thank you all so much for your continued support. We appreciate you. The world is a much better place with you in it, and we love you more.